Ready, Alex? Okay. Hey, welcome everyone. How exciting! Welcome and thanks for joining us. I can honestly say I don't know if I've ever worked with such a talented and highly energetic man in my life.
That's too much praise.
Yeah, welcome. So 2 months ago, we were sitting. I was standing here with a couple of my partners and the marketing team for Ruby Lane. We were giving them a tour. They were here during the winter show, and they knew they wanted to do something with RoundTop Publishers, Paper City, our whole team. And we're looking at the space, and Alex with Ruby Lane says, you know, I bet Leigh Keno would like to come out here and do an appraisal event. And we said, really? You think he would? He says, well, let's just see. And he gets him on the phone, and he puts him on speakerphone, and we're shivering, and Leigh picks up the phone, and he says, absolutely, I love RoundTop, I love Texas, I have so many friends and clients, and then he says, oh, and by the way, I have to have a charity involved. I love kids charity, and so that's why we have Camp for All, who, as you know, is down the road in Burton. And in a little bit, they'll say something when we have a break. So this is before there was construction. It was the old boneyard. We were trying to figure it all out. Well, it came together. And I want to thank Leigh and Ruby Lane and Gallery Films out of Bastrop. Just some of the, remember that name if you need great video, folks. Outstanding. We also have Alice in Wonderland has graciously been has sponsored the champagne, and it had to have been French champagne, and it is, and it's outstanding. So everyone who has a band can enjoy that. And she wanted me to mention that she has, if you read this, I think it's 4 facades from a grand chateau that she is offering. So take a look at that. And unless I'm missing something, I think we're going to start. We're live streaming on Ruby Lane, who only has 400,000 or so followers. So there's a good chance you may be seen on someone's screen today. Am I missing anything? Okay, great. Leigh?
Great, thank you.
Thank you,
Ken.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy.
Thank you. First of all, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for tuning in on Ruby Lane. And I'm excited, as Jim said, to be in Texas. I love Texas. I love the people. I came to RoundTop here with my brother, what was that, Jim, 10 years ago, I think? And Paper City actually covered the event, right? I don't know if it was much of an event, following a couple of stumbling twins around, looking under tables, crawling under high boys. Anyway, we had a blast, and I'm happy to be back here. So, and thrilled to be doing it with Ruby Lane. So, without further ado, I think we're going to start with the first appraisal, and this is great because it's just kind of winging it here, which first time. So you're part of something really exciting. May I help?
I don't know if I can step up here.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You got it.
Sorry.
Thank you. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. Yeah.
So
I brought this Dante's poems book. It's very old.
okay. And what is your name? I'm sorry.
Linda Churchwell.
Linda. May I call you Linda?
Yes, you may.
Only for privacy purposes. And it's like on another show I do on BBS, we never say last names, so because of privacy.
Okay.
But sometimes I feel out of respect you want to say a last name, so you don't mind if I call you Linda, right?
Linda's fine.
Thank you, Linda. Well, this is Dante, and what's the story?
Well, my cousin Doris had it in her family for a long, long time, and you'll see in here, it's given to her by her Uncle Clifford.
Right.
On one of these pages in here.
Yes.
And her Uncle Clifford was from Tennessee.
Okay.
And when he gave it to her, he told her that it was valuable and for her to hang on to it.
Yeah, gift from my precious and beloved Uncle Clifford. Oh.
And so she held it, but when she passed on, we were real close cousins.
Yep.
And she knew that I liked antiques, and she knew that I would take care of it. So she told her son before she died to make sure that I got that book. And he gave it to me, and I don't know what it's worth.
Well, I'll tell you, first of all, it's a beautiful copy with its original cover. And I love this image, which I'm showing to the camera, but so that they can see it over here.
Right.
And you guys can. I'm sorry you see it, but maybe you can watch it on Ruby Lane later, right? But is a wonderful picture capturing what Dante was all about, this experience with the devil. Did you read it, actually?
No.
You never did?
Well, no, it's too fragile. I'm afraid I'll tear it up.
Exactly, and that's
I know you can buy a hard copy, of a print of it.
Right.
And one day I'm going to do that and read it because I'd like to know, what it's about.
Yes, and know where you don't want to go, down there, right? 'Cause
Right.
And Linda,
I already know that.
you already know you're going up there. I can
already
tell.
know that.
I can feel this glow coming from you, this light. No, really. I'm going to be a preacher now, okay? I can feel it. I can feel it. No, the hallelujah. But no, seriously.
That's part being a Texan.
It is.
Really.
A proud Texan.
Yes.
That's what I love about Texas. You're proud. Listen, the cover of this, I just want to say, and I'm going to show this, the cover is classic Eastlakes. Charles Eastlake wrote a book called Household Taste in 1874, I think. And all the furniture from this period that I see over my filming over the last 2 decades, and all the furniture has these motifs that you see on the cover of this book.
Right.
It's classic compartmentalized little rosettes and flowers, and that's classic Eastlake style. So I could look at this book and not know anything about Dante, the famous play, and know that this was done probably no earlier. I'm trying to see if there's a date in here.
1813, I think.
I think the original one was done in 1813, and again, from the cover, I know it couldn't be. It's like saying a Volkswagen was made in 1812.
okay.
I don't know why I picked Volkswagen. How about a Mustang?
I got you.
Yeah. No, so it doesn't have. But
I thought I saw a date.
Well, let's just say that this is in beautiful shape. It's in original condition.
Yeah.
And the value of it is good you didn't replace the cover. And I'm not a book expert, a specialist in books at all, but I saw it and said, that's such a beautiful cover. Has some of its original gilding on it. And value-wise, it's not great. It's some of those things, there are a lot of these things that have sentimental value to us that doesn't translate into monetary value, but that's okay, and so I'm not going to give you a big number on this.
Okay.
It's not going to be life-changing.
I just want to know what it's worth.
Yes, it'd be in a range under $300, in a range. Okay. So, but that's okay. I mean, it's absolutely lovely. The way I'm handling it right now is, I guess, okay, but you don't want, you did the right thing by not reading it, because if you read it a lot,
too fragile.
That's it. But the greatest thing is I got to meet a true Texan. I got to meet you, and thank you, Linda.
Thank you for coming to Texas.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. We appreciate it. Let me help you down.
Yes, sir.
Just a sec. Okay.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, now I see a box over there coming up, and it looks like it maybe made in China. I haven't seen it. We saw a few pictures of things that were going to come, but this is the first time I'm seeing this. This young gentleman is bringing up, getting his mic. I'm gonna pop over and I'll give him a hand. Here, sir, may I grab that?
I would certainly appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Are we good to go?
I get an early look at it here.
You're gonna hit me, get up on this.
So I love things made in China.
I don't
But I
know.
want to hear the story about it first. Come on up. You got it, man. You're good.
When your knees go, you're gone.
Well, you're doing just fine. My name's Leigh.
Henry,
Nice to meet you.
good to know you, sir.
And what's the story on this, Henry?
Well, I don't really know.
Okay. Where'd you get it?
I've had it about 12 years.
And
It's interesting how I got it. The bottom is beginning to kind of come out.
Yep.
But I've had it about 12 years. About 12 years ago, one Saturday morning, a car drove up my driveway. A couple got out, handed me that box, and said their neighbors had given it to them and asked them to give it to me.
Really?
And they were going into assisted living.
Okay.
You'll see an inscription down in the bottom there.
Oh,
Right here.
Oh, yes, T-box from, let me try to, I don't know if the camera's going to make it in there, but if I can read it. If we're looking at this little tag done in probably the 1950s or 60s.
Yeah.
T-box from Cheshire. Cheshire. I assume England. Used early 19th century for tea from China, reputedly used to carry household goods by wagon to Kansas. Isn't that great? In the 1850s, brought back to Cheshire when dreams failed. Oh, shouldn't have any dreams failed. That's too bad. It happens, but I mean, it's just like, wow. But think about it. Some people moved to Kansas. And is Cheshire, do you guys know Cheshire? Is there Cheshire in Texas? No, not Texas. No. So, I mean, I would have thought that was Cheshire, England,
That's
you know?
what I thought.
I mean,
Right.
so, yeah, and it says used to carry household goods by wagon to Kansas in the 1850s. So that's very neat that, I mean, and this would have somehow found its way, this is, basically what I think this is the motifs on here are called the antiquity motif that they describe when you have several vases like this on a piece, and it's like a collection of little vases, and that was popular as a design on porcelain and all sorts of things from China in the from the Ming Dynasty, from back in the 1500s, up through the Qing Dynasty, 20th century. So this was made, my guess is the mid-19th century, and that fits with the narrative there about brought goods to Kansas by wagon, and it's kind of export quality. It wasn't made for the emperor, let's say. Right. So it's just as a Buddhist symbol on the top. This little doggy playing with a ball that was used as Buddhist imagery in China, and all these different motifs combined. Look at that crazy cat there. Right. Kind of kitty with a winged kitty, which I think they call the chillin in China, which is a winged beast, and it's got nice hardware. The way you can date a piece is from the hardware sometimes. Right. Let me turn it. I got to turn it to the camera, and I want to show you. But you see, you can see that the quality is kind of thin on the brass. Right. It's not heavy cast, so you know that this was made for export. Okay, right. and this is, but the fact that it has this kind of history, the fact that you had somebody drive into your driveway one day and just tell you,
to finish the story, I asked them why, and the people were going into assisted living, and they were getting rid of everything,
right.
And they had given this to these people and asked them to give it to me, because at the time I was a chairman, and you Democrats put your guns up. Of the Tea Party.
Okay.
And I had organized a tea party in Madison County, and they said that they thought it was appropriate that I get this tea box.
How cool is that? That's very cool. That's very cool. That's very appropriate. That is so. That's so cool. Right. Well, it was a really nice gift, and I mean the story there is I know you'd never sell it because it's a memory of something that you did that you strongly believe in, and you want to keep it, but just to know. For insurance purposes or whatever, it has more value as the object, and it doesn't translate always again into monetary value. The story. Having said that, this is a nice painted box. It has these great imagery, and look at how the top is darker. Right. The top here you can see is darker than the sides. Do you guys know why that is? It's a way to date a piece sometimes to know it has some age, because it's real simple. Just dust is settled since 1840 or 50 on that horizontal surface. It doesn't settle on the sides. It didn't get picked up on the sides. So the sides are all much brighter, and the top is dark. And you can see that on the top of a picture frame that's hanging on a wall for, I mean the top, I always look at that, the sides are shiny gold, the top's like almost black. And you're going, wow, it's not like the people weren't good housekeepers, but it's just that stuff collects on the surface. Anyway, value-wise, this box is probably, my guess is it's probably for decorative purposes, probably about kind of $700 to $1,000. because it has a great look. It has, a lot of designers, you could see this in a room, couldn't you guys?
Right.
Yeah, everybody's nodding out there, my
Right.
friend, so.
Right.
So congratulations, I mean,
Excited,
and I know you're gonna keep it, thanks a lot.
And knowing what it is.
Yes,
Thank
yes, you know
Appreciate
what it is now.
Appreciate you a lot.
I appreciate your time, thank you.
gonna sit that
Thank you
right
very
here.
much.
Let me sit
Have
this
you have a
down,
great day.
And then let me lean on that and I'll get down.
And let me help you here. Okay. So we have.
Thanks, sir.
Let me just tell you, we have a lot of great things coming up because I've seen some images of them. So for those of you watching on Ruby Lane, we have some fascinating things. In fact, I saw an image of something that looks to be, and I just don't know until I see it in person, but it looks like it could be an important thing. And I don't want to say what it is, or if the person's here, I don't know if they're even here yet, but it looks important. I got to tell you, it looks important. I'm not a Michelangelo expert, but it looks important. That's a little hint, that's all. So I think, what is next, may I ask? Do we have the next item, if I may ask? What's another book? I should have told him to spread out the books. I'm only kidding. I just don't know. I'm not a book guy. But this is just really, this looks like a little pocket book that's coming up, a pocket-sized book.
So you ready?
And we're going to have it in a minute. Hello. Come on up. How are you?
Hey, good.
How are you?
How are
Good.
you?
Good. My name's Leigh.
Hello, I'm Gail.
Gail. Nice to meet you, Gail. Thank you. I guess our mics are, that's okay.
Is there
Let's leave it.
something-
I think it's okay.
working?
Can we adjust that a little bit? Yeah, a little bit, thank you. I think my mic likes
Turn it
you,
off.
likes your mic.
Too much.
It's humming.
Too much.
Is
Okay.
it the volume, you guys? Do we adjust that? Okay, while we're adjusting that, we have to stand more apart. Maybe you guys could adjust that. I'm just gonna keep talking, which I have no problem doing, unfortunately, for you guys. And this is, first of all, Gail, thanks for bringing it. And what's the story on it?
Well, this is the New Testament, and it's from Holland, it's in Dutch,
Yes.
and it's also a hymnal, because if you go to the back of the book, you'll see various Dutch hymns, Christian hymns.
Okay, right.
All of it very neatly written in very small notes.
Yes.
And what struck me about this came to us through our family, but it's been in storage for a long time, and the only date I could find was 1612. And I'm just wondering, could it possibly be that old, or?
That's a good question. I'll tell you, if I were to look at just the outside of it and the silver hasp on that, I absolutely would say that could be early 17th century. Yes, yes, I could.
Wow.
You've always wondered that.
Yes.
And how did you come across it?
Well, my husband's father was Dutch,
Yeah.
lived in Athens, and
Okay.
after he died, we discovered it among his possessions. And so we can only assume that it came from Holland, from down through the family for many generations.
Right.
There are notations on the front page
Yep.
regarding marriages, I believe.
Okay.
And some of our family names are in there.
Yeah, they are in there. I mean, right. So this is a family Bible.
Presumably.
I mean, it looks.
Is it-
So you recognize some of these names. There's some. I don't know if the camera can. Can you guys zoom in on that? Your family names, right? And this date looks like. Yeah, you came up with. Is it 1621 maybe? 21?
Possibly.
I think 16. At least 1621. I'm horrible at big Roman numerals. I can do little ones like XI or means 11. Oh boy. No, but seriously, this is, I think it's early 17th century, 1621 Dutch, as you said, Bible. That's amazing, right? To have something in your hands that's 400
Right.
400 years old. And with the original cover that's been protected in part but because it has been handled, because the oil would naturally keep the leather moist. You know, so we always told them, don't touch, don't touch. Well, this is something where carefully you touch, you know. So this is, you know, and sometimes they do this in a Russia leather, which is a special Russia bind, but this is carefully, you see how that's impressed, the surface? And the silver hasp is engraved. And this paper is called marbleized, I won't open it all the way. But it's that marbleized paper that you've seen so many times. But this is a very popular process with books, where they had the process of with the ink, where they caused it to look marbleized, just like a marble floor of a cross section. Totally period. The thing is, I'm going to sing one of these psalms for you now. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You guys would run out of here so fast if I started singing.
No.
But no, you would, seriously. But this is the thing with the religious objects. They don't, unless it's even an item that's very, very old. They're difficult to put a market value on.
Sure.
They don't sell in the marketplace because they're religious. You know, they're special, and so. And it almost seems to me not a sin, but to talk about money in the Bible, you know, so that psychologically, having said that, this has been passed down. That's why your family maybe never sold it. It's the family Bible. And I wish my family went back that far. I could trace it back that far, you know, to the early 1600s. Value-wise, this would be under $1,000, you know, and you know, it's hard, you know, as I've appraised things over the years, we've never generally kept, you know, prices off religious objects, you know, unless it's the Gutenberg Bible, which I understand did sell once for an awful lot of money. So, but this is, I just wonderful to see it, wonderful to hold it. At least you have a confirmation that it is around 1621.
Yes, that's very helpful. That's very helpful.
Thank you. What, you're going to keep it, where do you keep it in your home?
In the library.
Appropriate. Yeah. Appropriate. Well, thank you so much for...
All right. Thank you very
Gail.
much.
Appreciate it, Gail.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you. All right, you guys. We have a Cruet set coming up. And when I was growing up, we used to see Cruet sets. And the word's not used that much anymore, I don't think. But there you are. Hello. How are you? Don't you look lovely?
Thank you.
Yes, and your mic seems to be where your mic is.
I don't have a mic.
I was going to say it's not Zoom. It's not making that buzz. Why don't I can do the pocket and you do the other. We're going to get. What is your name, please?
Nancy.
Nancy. May I call you Nancy?
Yes.
Thank you, Nancy. And my name's Leigh. And that's okay. No harm done. You okay? Yeah. Okay.
Hello?
Nancy, thank you. Well, thank you, Nancy. Tell me the story of your Cruet set.
When my grandfather died, he arranged to have a lunch at the University Club in St. Louis for all the family to read the will.
Right.
And organized as he always is, he had three things that he was gifting. One to my aunt, one to my uncle, and one to me. I was one of 12 grandchildren, and this was in a box. Nobody knew about it. It was purchased in England in 1947 in August when my mother was pregnant with me, and no one had ever seen it.
Okay.
I have the original papers.
Wow, the original papers.
Yes.
Because I was going to say, and I'm looking at the top of this thing, and I'm saying, it's exactly that part of it. It says George III, 1760.
Yes, let me show you.
Then I'm going to tell you what I think. Okay.
This is the letter from the company to my grandfather.
So it's a letter saying the invoices for the silver and glass oil and vinegar frame. This is
the invoice.
Wow.
The original invoice from August 26, 1947.
That's so great. That's a real invoice with all the stamps of silver. It looks like a silversmith to the king or something, with all these coats of arms from Hancock's and Company in London. Wonderful.
Well, the cool thing is the letter is stating if my grandfather wants to show off this to his friends and doesn't want to share the price, they sent a secondary invoice that didn't have the price on it.
That's very kind of them. That's for polite, very polite society, right.
And then my grandfather had it appraised in 1980, and this is from a jewelry store in St. Louis,
Wow.
along with several other things that they purchased.
Wow.
At the same time, they bought a 12-piece hawk set that I have 11 pieces of at my house.
A hawk set.
They're colors,
Wow.
6 different colors, and it's the most beautiful set.
But this, you've cherished this over the years. And
Well, I just received it in 1989 or whenever he died, and I've never touched it, so
Right,
it's
right.
not clean or anything, but
Yep.
I've been afraid to do anything with it because I didn't know if I would harm it.
Well, if I may, I'll read this original, this is the 1947 receipt, right? George III, circa 1760, oil and vinegar frame, which they call it a frame then, the frame, in silver and glass, made in London by John Delmester. And it has the hallmarks on the bottom, of course, which I just saw. And yep, right
The
there.
hallmarks, when we
like
looked
this.
them up, it actually dates it pre-1760.
Yeah, it's the first time I'm seeing this picture, and I tend to agree with you that it'd be like from the 50s or something, or 40s.
Well,
the style.
actually, it's late 50s, but I don't remember exactly. It's been
But
several years.
This one thing. Let me just say that it's wonderful that this caps that they made in London, right, at a time when the Rococo was in full bloom. So you have this handle with the canthus leaf and this scrolled. I'm showing the camera, not you, so
Yeah.
that because you can look from this side, and it's pure Rococo, all the curves. It's the William Hogarth wrote the book The Analysis of Beauty in 1754. I used to have an original copy of it, and it says that the S curve line is the most beautiful line in nature, and it is. I mean, it's the S shape, right? And that and a twinkle in the eye, and you know,
You got it.
We go on from there, right? Yeah, but that is the essence of everything, isn't it? And he shows really bad lines and really faint lines, but right somewhere there's a perfect S curve, right?
Right.
So, and everyone has their own S curve that they like. So, let's stop about that analogy and just talk about this beautiful handle. And the wonderful thing is the shell feet. Don't you love
Right,
those?
right.
Do you like those? I mean, this is like, I know you've just had it since '89, but that's still 40.
It's a long time. I've had it a
Yeah,
long time,
yeah.
and I've had it out. I didn't put it away or hide it. I have it out.
That's nice. First of all, it's beautiful. It has these great hallmarks on the bottom, and the nice thing about English silver, as you know, is that you can actually date the piece right and determine the maker right from the hallmark. And nowadays you can go online and
Right.
and back when I was first studying silver, we had all the books piled up, and now it's all online. And this is just a lovely Cruet set, and I've never seen anything actually with as many receipts with it. It's really cool, I mean, it's amazing, and from great makers. And the nice thing is that sometimes I have to tell people that despite this fancy receipt, it's not what they think it is, what they were sold.
Well, I know this is original.
Well, and I know. And that's what's it's more fun for me to, you already knew it.
Yeah.
But you didn't need me to tell you.
No.
But now you just have this fast-talking guy on TV
No,
telling you that.
I believe you.
No. It's like, no, it's great. It's right. I love to see pretty things. Let me just quickly talk about the glass because I love.
I know this has bothered me.
Oh, what's bothering you?
The vinegar has
It's bloomed a little bit.
Yes.
The glass.
but I
wouldn't.
haven't touched it. I
Yep.
haven't done a thing to mess it up.
I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, this is over almost 300 years old.
Right.
And the great thing, I want to show the bottoms if I could. And you see those marks on the bottom. Let me take one. This is a blown glass decanter, and then blown really by a glass blower with a pipe, and then it was snapped off the pipe and then ground. And if you want to feel that little.
Right. I can feel the stem.
Yeah, and you feel that concave area?
Right.
And as you probably know, that was ground down,
Yes.
and you see that concave area, and that's one way to know that you have a blown piece. And sometimes they don't grind it away, but this is so fine This is mid-18th century, hand cut on a wheel, glass, with custom fitted mounts.
And they match really well.
They do. They match beautifully. And for the vinegar and oil, and of course the
Ginger.
Yeah, exactly, ginger. And some might put. They didn't put salt in there at that time, which most people don't know. They put it in a master salt, right?
Right.
And but they.
Because
would
the
put
holes
ginger.
are much larger.
Yes, they are.
for ginger.
That'd be a lot of salt if there was salt. You know, look how shiny it is inside.
Yeah.
And I'm actually glad you didn't polish it up. Also, it just.
Well, I was just afraid I was going to ruin it.
Yeah, no, I've seen things polished so much. There's this wonderful hallmark on the top here.
See that's wonderful.
I didn't mean to say hallmark, pardon me.
Yeah, the
insignia,
the
coat of
insignia.
arms on the top, which is kind of faint. I don't know if you can catch that, but it's with the Latin inscription, and it's all still there because it hasn't been cleaned over and over. Sometimes a housekeeper, somebody just wears it right away.
Right.
So value-wise, I think it was, back in 1947, $180, which is not cheap. That was.
Well, I think that would be pounds.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. Thanks. So I didn't. You're right. Thank you.
No, I'm sorry.
No. It's right. So, but anything at over 100, so it's more expensive. It's like, I don't know what
Yeah,
it was then.
I
Exchange.
have no-
Let's say it was double, and it probably wasn't like over $300. But that was back in 47.
And in 80, they had it at
Yes.
8,000.
At 80 was appraised at 8,000, and that was for insurance purposes, was it?
Yeah, but
So-
I have no
Exactly.
clue if that's anywhere.
Okay, so for insurance purposes, you want to always, those are usually a good, 30 to 50% higher, than fair market value, which is the price it would bring on the open market. But still, this beautiful little Cruet set. I mean, this is really rare. It's got wonderful history. It has the hallmark on the front. It's the epitome of the Rococo in England with all the curves, and it's just really charming. I think in a retail shop, with everything in place, someone who specializes in silver, that this would be worth today probably, I'd say upwards of retail, 9,500 or so, 9,000. I mean, you could put that on it because it's hard to go out and find a full set. And when you do find them, one bottle's broken, something's
Exactly.
replaced, and I tell you, the added documentation. I'm taking into account the fact that you have all this documentation,
Right.
which is so wonderful. I'll carefully fold it up.
Here,
And
I'll
you've
put it
taken-
back the way it was.
I thank you. You've been a very good caretaker of it.
Well,
And-
it's very important to me.
Yeah, well, I think, you're so sweet to bring it in.
Well,
to
thank
share.
you for letting me come. I appreciate it.
No, you're welcome. Here, let me fold this up, and I can hand this. I can hand this actually, if I may, to.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll get it for you. Okay. Great. Thank you. And
Here,
you guys
I
good?
got it.
And is that you next? Yeah, great. We've got is it Chad? I like bowls. I've always loved bowls. So we have a bowl coming up. Again, I think I even saw a photo of that. So, I mean, what's fun is that when I've done other appraisals, I mean, what's your name?
Chad.
Chad, nice to meet you. Nice to meet
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
man. How are you? Are you from around here? Right?
Well, yeah, I'm from Houston, so
Okay.
I haven't traveled too far,
Right.
but but I'm excited to be here and see what you think of my bowl. I don't know if I have quite the story that some of these other individuals have had with some of their pieces, so I thought, I could come and just make one up,
Yeah,
but,
that's what I was just
that was the only bowl that they could bring over in their,
Yeah.
in their trunk, so.
Right, yeah, their last few.
Right, this is all they ate out of.
Right,
Pink's
right.
pretty good still, though.
Right, that's good. That's a good one. It's going up and down.
Right.
going.
In 1860.
No, well, the great thing is Chad, is it's from far away, it looks like something, frankly, I'm going to be from a tourist shop, I mean, isn't that terrible? Here I am telling poor Chad that, but from far away, but actually, I got closer and I said, that's the real deal. It's old. I mean, honest to God, look at the day. Now,
Well, I wasn't sure. It says 1857 on the side, but the tourist shops, they could just throw that on there. So I wasn't
sure, they could, but it's absolutely 100% 1857, that date. I mean, and I can tell you, I've collected bowls since I was a little kid. My brother and I tried to make a burl bowl, which is the knotted wood. They get gnarly, so hard to we ended up using coals and a hairdryer to kind of burn. We use my dad's chainsaw part to cut. But this one's, so I really appreciate a good bowl because I know how hard they are to make. And this is not burl, but it's a turned, looks like a softwood bowl, and definitely European. So, and I'm trying to read. So is this? It's Northern European writing, right?
Right. Well, so my grandfather was a high school principal for 30 plus years, and he was got into the antique business kind of on the side as kind of a sideline. And he purchased this one, I think, on one of his trips to Maine. Okay. And he always was like, oh, it's a Norwegian bowl. It's a Norwegian bowl. So that's always what he kind of put out there, that it was a Norwegian bowl.
He nailed it. It's a Norwegian bowl. Honestly, that's it. No, honestly, it is a Norwegian bowl. My brain, my aging brain is going, I don't know what country, I don't know, Austria, Norwegian. That's it. Because I've seen enough painted things, objects. They were wonderful decorators there in Norway, and the thing about the bowl is, it wasn't turned to be oval, right? Right. So it has that wonderful shrinkage. You guys see the oval quality to it. So it's shrunk, and because it's a straight grain, so it's shrunk this way. So it's like half an inch longer this way than this, and that's so it shows its age. That's one telling thing about its age. The thing about it, Chad, if you come close, I mean, and trying to get the camera to maybe if it can see, you can see that the paint surface and the pebbly nature of it, and the way it's chipped, and all those things tell me that it's period. I mean, it's because you can
not
imagine
a reproduction, then.
It's not a repro, exactly, and it's just and that's nice abrasion in the bottom, the way the paint's flaked off, and this would have been, I mean, again, I'm going to go back to the tourist thing, the souvenir shop, sorry, but this would have been something that wouldn't be expensive, but it would brighten up a home, and they were exported as well. But the nice thing is that you rarely see a date on, on a bowl. I've seen dates on other pieces, some chests from Norway. Anyway, it's so this thing. So again, it's been in your family how long?
Well, we probably had it now for probably 30 years, 40 years.
And did you make all those marks in there when you were a kid? Did you just scratch it?
I might have, right?
Kicker toys, and again,
eating my oatmeal out of it.
That's right. I forgot that story. That's right. But seriously, quite seriously, it's really in nice shape too. It's just lost enough paint to tell us that it's the real deal. And I just love the turning marks in the bottom, and you can see that with the light, and so. Again, but Norwegian, painted objects are, let's say they're decorative. They're fun. They're not hugely valued. This doesn't have huge value, but I'd say in a shop, retail, that could be $150 or so. Right. And if you told a much better story, I'd say 300. From the beginning, Chad.
So I shouldn't retire quite yet.
Don't retire.
Shouldn't retire.
Don't retire. No. Okay. Thanks, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Leigh.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll take my tourist bowl back.
But I appreciate it. Thanks. You're a good guy. This is so much fun, I'll tell you. You guys having fun? Yeah, having fun. We're having fun here. It's so great. I mean, it's so great because you never know what's going to turn up, and that's what's so. I love fly fishing, and I could just fly fish every day and be happy because you're casting and you're letting that thing drift, and you never know when that big one's going to strike. Whether it's a trout, Atlantic salmon, or whatever. And I always let. The ones I do manage to catch, I lose a lot of them, I always let them go. Catch and release. I believe strongly in catch and release fishing, unless you're starving and need something to eat. May I bother someone for some water, if you wouldn't mind? Anyone? Thanks so much. Great.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
you?
Our next guest.
Nice to see you again.
Hi, nice to see you.
And great to have everyone here today, our big adventure.
Thanks.
So, thank you, and I can't bring them up on the stage, but
Yeah, do you mind? Okay, I can put one up, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Stay right there, yeah, okay. So we'll put it right up there. Thank you, Brandon. Okay, so why not put it right up there? I don't want it
Okay,
to block
there we
you.
go.
But maybe if you stand on that side, can you guys get both of us? Yeah, we're good. You stand,
okay,
yeah.
great.
No, you can just tell me.
All right, well, thank you for having everyone here and being here, Leigh. I know we're really excited.
Thank you.
I'm Catherine with Paper City, so welcome everyone to the halls. And I brought these chairs are very interesting because they came from the Heritage Society. I just acquired them. And the director, Allison Bell, said hello to you because you and your brother have been featured at one of the Heritage Society luncheons. So this is the first time they've been out of the Heritage Society because I bought them about 6 months ago, a whole set of 9-piece set. They were decommissioning I got them for $100. So I couldn't say no. And they were actually originally from RoundTop. They were acquired by Bill Hill, who was a big American collector. I think you probably must know
Yes.
William Hill.
Yes.
And he acquired them for the Pilo House in the Heritage Society, which was the Henke Pilo. They owned a grocery store. So, they were had to be removed from the house after the hurricane. So, I'm just really happy. I'm going to take a couple of these home with me today and install them in my house in Spring Branch. So
You live in Spring Branch?
Yes, and I feel like I know a little bit about them, but obviously you're the expert.
No, Catherine, first I want to say it's such an honor to be part of this event, hosted in part by Paper City with Ruby Lane, and it's so exciting for me to be
We're
here.
thrilled to have you, and I just met Alex, and of course Holly and Jim. We're just thrilled to have our own Keno event here today.
You're really kind, thank you. And so what do you know about the chair?
I really don't. I'm an American furniture. I love American furniture, so I felt like they were probably American, probably after the Civil War, around that time period,
Yep.
and that's all I would know. Yeah.
Okay. You probably know more than you're not telling me.
I really don't know
I'm looking at her
anything.
face. You think she knows more? Does she? No. Look at that face. Look at that. She does. No, but you hit it on the head. I mean, you said after the Civil War, right? And
I didn't. I don't think they're a famous maker. I mean, they look in that style. So yeah, I'm gonna. This is your area.
No, pardon me. So no. Listen, thank you. I love the fact that they're. Well, first of all, we're looking at a Victorian walnut chair, of which this is like all the rage, right? From the 1850s to right up through the 1870s. Like for a good 25 years, literally this Victorian style, named after, of course, Queen Victoria in England, was just everybody loved it. And it was, and it involved, and when the chairs were upholstered, they were really puffed up. Like a Jiffy Pop? Remember Jiffy Pop? I love Jiffy Pop.
Totally.
Break it open, right? But, and they're upholstered very high, and this is correctly upholstered. I don't even know if some of the original upholsteries are there.
They're just,
Right.
some are in better condition than others. Yeah.
No, that's okay, but they've been recovered, of course,
Yeah.
with this silk and with this tape along the edge. But the Victorian era basically took the Rococo era and then just brought it to another level with sometimes too much decoration. Like I say, too much. A lot of fussy decoration because that was the style. These actually, though, are because they're and those were made by firms like Belcher, as you know, and Meeks in New York City. And as you probably know, these are not by Belcher or Meeks. And if you had a pair of those chairs, it would be
Those are just sort of the ultimate of the time period, right?
kind of exactly, like Ferrari or
Yes,
whatever,
yeah.
or race cars from a certain period, right? Yeah, and they were in New York City. And this is beautifully made. It's a lovely walnut, and walnut was the wood of the Victorian era. It really was. And walnut, and then oak for the late Victorian, the golden oak age, right? But this is the 1850s or 60s. You were right on there. and maybe even early 70s. And it has, at the top, we have this kind of Rococo little, can you guys see it there? This kind of cresting up here. And this is a laminated back, upholstered with an oval, and it's concave, right? Nicely upholstered. And as the seat, you come down to this, again, Jiffy Pop seat, and that's not an official term, you guys. And this Rococo motif kind of in the middle. But the nice thing is you have this continuous line that runs along here, and then the feet are scrolled out. And it has the original casters down there. Catherine.
It's interesting.
The original, literally, the original casters with ebony as the wood, which is so
that's
great.
ebony? Wow.
That is actually ebony. It's a really black wood that goes to a kind of greenish color, and so hard as rock, and they haven't broken. And the original casters with this little, oh look, it has a name here.
This was, I think, literally from the Heritage Society when they
yeah.
must have de-accessioned it, so when they write the little museum label on it.
Got it, like a cataloging accession number. Okay. So anyway, to cut to the quick, as you probably know, they're not huge value.
Well, they're not a big maker. They're not like the the Belcher or Makes, as you said.
And even that market has, to be frank, has gone down in recent years. But had for the Belcher and Meeks, but they're really nice looking. They're nicely upholstered, and I think you can insure them. If you have a home insurance or whatever, right? So you can insure them. Insurance again is a little higher than for above $1,500. For insurance.
They would probably be about that.
For insurance, that because again, insurance is higher than fair market. But if you went out to buy a pair, you wouldn't. You could. It might. It might be less. But you know what? They're lovely and they've got a great story.
And I love that time period too. So
Do you have other things in your home like that?
I grew up in a Victorian home, so I just really respond to that time period. It's one of my favorites. Yeah.
Does that remind you? I mean, your parents collected?
Yeah. Yes. So. A Victorian house outside of Pittsburgh, so these kind of make me think of that whole thing.
That's not that. See, that's worth more than the insurance value. That's
exactly.
worth. You can't put a number on that.
Yeah.
Thank you though. Thanks for sharing them.
Well, thank you so much. It's so great to have you here in RoundTop at the Halls. Thank you,
Catherine. Thank you. They're really nice. Let me take these. I got them. Yeah. Great. And then next we have, I see it. The clock is ticking, not on the presentation, but a clock over there. I see a shelf clock. It's like a mantle clock actually. And now don't forget tomorrow. I want to say while we're on here, we're going to actually go antiquing. We're going to go through RoundTop and find treasures. And we're going to have a camera crew in tow. My son and Brandon and I are going to go treasure hunting, okay? We're going to find all kinds of stuff. I want to see if we can find some sleepers, right? Have you found any yet? Anybody here, out there? Not yet? Well, you haven't. You've been sitting here, that's why. Wait. I've been wasting my time with Leigh, Keno, and... okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm going to get it. Let's do, take a look.
Oh, yeah, the door's open.
Thank you. No, I got that. Wonderful. My name's Leigh.
I'm Anna.
Anna, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Leigh.
A pleasure. So, Anna, tell us the story.
This is a clock that was in my father's clock collection.
Okay.
He was a horologist in the Houston area for over 40 years.
Really? Okay.
I grew up with clocks. We always had clocks chiming and striking in our house 24/7.
Yep.
And he had his favorites, and this was one of his favorites. And I just loved them. I fell in love with clocks and the stories that he told about them, and imagined what they were like in a home, 200-300 years ago. This particular one, from what I'm told, is a double fusee movement.
Okay.
I think that's the mechanism that winds and unwinds the clock and powers the clock, which makes it a little special.
Right.
I just think it's very unique, a beautiful piece that looks like it has a lot of history.
Well, it sounds like it sounds like you know your clocks growing up with them, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I love them.
You love them. And So have you bought? First of all, was this one of your father's? You said one of his favorites.
This was.
And therefore probably. Is your father with us?
No, he passed away about 10 years ago. So my brothers and I have clocks that we have consumed, and yes, and so now we're the keepers of the clocks. And this particular clock is with my father, my oldest brother.
Is with your oldest brother? Okay, and well. So he's probably watching, right? So
he probably is.
Okay, that's good. I opened up the back, and I'm sorry, you know what's back there, but I have to show the camera here. And here on the back, you have this. Well, first of all, let me start with what I think we have, which I'm sure you could talk about just as well because you know your stuff. But this is it's a London 18th century clock from I'm guessing the third quarter of I haven't checked the maker though, the River and Sun, Cornhill, London, because I'd have to have an iPhone up here. So no, but the thing that we look for, first of all, it's they call it, as you know, carriage clock, a bracket clock, and the carriage clocks are really small. This is a bracket clock, and it's also because they were sometimes, I think the name comes from, you might know, on a bracket on the wall, but they also often had bracket feet. And this has original brass bracket feet that would have been made in Birmingham, England, where they made brasses and handles and everything. They had a huge industry and exported to America, all that stuff. And this is beautifully engraved, and it has a beautiful patina to this clock. And a little pull string on the side, right?
Yes. Do you know the story about that? Maybe you can tell me a little more.
Maybe
I mean, what I'm told is that a person could pull it.
Yep.
And it would strike.
Yep, like it is now.
And it would tell you the closest hour of the time that it is of the day.
Exactly, yep.
And so a person could be in their chair in the other room and have a string with a levy that would pull, and they would not have to get up and walk around to look at the clock. They could just pull the string and know what hour it was, more or less.
Exactly right. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Isn't that neat?
I thought that was kind of cool.
And this is the third quarter of the 18th century. These guys were inventive and amazing. I mean, and actually I hadn't thought about the story about being in the other room, but you're right. Why get up? And you're sitting there with your port, and it's after dinner, and you got the fire burning, like, let's see how late. See if the wife wants me to go to bed yet. Well, nowadays it's on the computer, and you've got it all in front of you. So this clock is wonderful, and the little pull string, by the way, that we're talking about, sorry about you guys, is this little guy here that you would pull, and it would give you the closest hour, which is so cool. But one thing that overall though, you have a dome top, you have pure sides so that you could hear the bell, the chime, and one thing with we appraisers of clocks look for to know if the works are original to the case, because they're often switched around, is the saddle board, which is inside here. And really interestingly, I've seen works that are not original to the case, and it affects the value a lot, okay? And I got good news, I mean, you might have known this because, like, my dad bought this. Of course, he's not going to buy one in the place for it, But this is absolutely original. I mean, because the saddle board reflects that. There's no extra holes from being in another clock, because it would show. And it's kind of hard to see that, get in there with the camera, I think, if I even tip it. But we're talking about this saddle board, which the works are attached to, and it's absolutely original. It's mahogany. It's got the right, it's got one rose head nail, so an early nail. And so this is just absolutely right. It has all the little repairs we love to see, like this little repair to the molding here. There's just a little, it tells the story of itself just by, I always say that a piece of surface, it's everything else, is a record of its, kind of a recording of its life, right? Exactly. And when you clean it all up and polish, you erase that tape recording. Now it's not a tape, it's a digital iCloud thing or something, but you clean the iCloud out. But
I love that it has a calendar as well.
yes, a calendar indicator, and that's what adds to the value. You know, that really does. I mean, this calendar indicator telling you the day. I mean, this is a jazzed up.
And it works in perfectly. It keeps perfect time.
Perfect time, and that bell is so nice. Absolutely original bell. It even has the original nut on top of the bell, which you guys just saw. But you know, it's just absolutely great. And again, I like to just quickly talk about surface that has that warm color to the mahogany. I was going to say walnut, but it's mahogany, to the mahogany. And I'm afraid to tip it on its back, though. You ever tip it on? I can do it. I can do it. If you don't mind, I can do it because I want to make sure I don't put my hand on the. Hold the door, okay? And I've got this. I just want to make sure the works were secure.
Oh, they are.
Okay, so I want to show the audience the feet because you want to look at the feet. And down here, literally, I don't know if you can see that. I have to pull up, bring my flashlight. I actually have a light that so the camera could see. But anyway, the screws, each screw has an offset. When you look at a screw, it has an offset slot. It's not down the middle. It's off to the side, you know, a little bit. It's just a little bit off center. And these are all handmade screws, brass in Birmingham again. And they've never been moved since the day the guy turned them in the 1770s. You know, from River and Sons. Yeah, River and Son and Cornhill. I mean, literally, that's it. And then for hundreds of years later, here we sit with the clock. It's had a wonderful journey through time. It's wonderful that it reminds you of your dad and everything. And
yeah, it is.
Was he a great guy?
He was a great guy.
I can tell you love your dad.
I love my dad.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's well, anyway.
That number, the serial number, is that?
Yes, and that was added. That was probably added later. You guys can't see what we're talking about. Let me see if it's added later. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
I was wondering if that was the year or the serial number.
It's a serial number. Yep, 1125. We're looking at on the back. So, and it's just a little number. And actually, you know something? That is actually original. That is actually the same engraving, the same style letters. You know, they wouldn't have matched it. But that would have been a number to help keep the clock, for the clockmaker to put it in the right case, to, you know, and all kinds of reasons. So it's a striking clock here, a wonderful example that you could portable too. You can take it in the carriage, and it's fabulous. And have you had it appraised at all? No, no reason to, right? So yeah. I mean, for insurance value, again, the market for English furniture has changed a bit, but you know, recently there have been some great prices for great things. So when you have a category like this where you've got everything, all the bells and whistles, the striking alarm, bell here to tell the time, and you've got it's signed front and back. The works are original, you know, to the case, and it's a pure Georgian style, you know, and it's got great color. So adding that up, I think you can insure this particular clock for north of $7,000, $7,000 to $9,000. In that range, yeah, easily, yeah. I mean, this is you know, and you're never going to sell it. You're never going to sell it, but you know, fair market would be just a little less to sell it. You know, today you put it in an auction, but you're never going to. Why sell it? No. Of course, you never would. And it's a great clock, and it's really nice. I'm really pleasantly surprised to see it because I just saw it on a list that you're bringing a clock, and it's. I want to touch it a little longer if you don't mind. You know, so that's surface. I'll tell you this. You know, this tactile. We use all our senses, and I can tell you use some furniture with a beak like this. It really works. You can smell. I can smell the furniture polish. You put a little bit.
I polished it up a little.
A little bit of yeah. You can't get away with anything, you know. No, but seriously, that's fine. That's fine.
I like it just the way it is.
I just love it. I love the fact that you haven't cleaned it.
I don't want to change it.
You have a wonderful clock.
Yeah.
Let me hand it.
Okay.
let you get down
Well, let me
first.
get down and then I'll,
Just a sec.
thank you very
Thank you,
much.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you. Okay,
Striking.
that's great.
Yep.
Thank you all. So we have some fun things coming up, I know, and you can just come up, sir, if you want. I guess you're, oh, okay, oh, you got to get the mic, okay, you're right there, yeah. We have, and again, remember that tomorrow we're going to go on an amazing treasure hunt, all of the people watching on Ruby Lane, and we're going to have fun. We're going to really, I can't wait. I drove here this morning from a hotel and with my son, and we were looking at all the different shops, and we wanted to stop, but we had to get here, and so it was this pull. It was like, God, we got to stop, and we have to be on time. Got to stop. So tomorrow we get to really go hunting for treasures here at RoundTop. Hello, sir.
Hi, Leigh. Bill.
Hi, Bill. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Bill, very nice to meet you. What's the story?
I can't follow some of these stories that have been coming up, so I'm going to give you a good one. This was a dump find when I was 13 years old.
Wow.
I've had it for 50 years now.
Okay.
It's made in French Indochina.
Right.
Through the years, that's involved Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, and Vietnam.
Right. Right.
And it ended in 1954.
Okay.
That's about all I can tell you about it.
And how you found it?
In a dump.
In a dump. Tell me that story. What I mean.
It was a friend of mine and I, we ride bikes, and in the 60s, this was at the end of a road, and it was just a dump site. People just drove the end of the road and they'd throw their trash away.
Really?
And this was found there.
You found it.
I found it, yeah.
That must be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, to be young, on a bike, and you see you're sticking up out of the trash.
Yep.
Wow. That is...
And I want to tell my sisters right now, if they're watching, I did not steal it.
You didn't steal it. Gotta believe that. Listen, that is really, really a nice thing. I'm just looking at the way it's made inside. So what you have is a cast.
It's pretty heavy.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. Yeah.
I always thought it looked like copper, but I'm not sure of that.
Yep, it is bronze. You know, it's like a copper with a mixture. They mix it with a little bit of, I think, I should know, zinc or something, just a small percentage to make it bronze.
Right.
But, so it's got that color, and it's certainly this Thai, kind of Siam, they called it Siam at the time, looking headdress on either a deity or it just may be it's something that, I'm going to tell you, would have been in a shop over there that you could buy, you know, and had a great look, and then you brought it back from Indochina, and they also shipped them over here. But so I'm not actually saying that it's just a souvenir, sorry, because I hate to do that, but it is a souvenir. So
I told you I couldn't follow their stories.
Yeah, you're right. No, but come on, you found it in a dump. I mean, that's great. I mean, but you can tell your friends, just tell them not to watch Ruby Lane at all, and just tell them that the guy said it was in a range under $1 million. That's all he would say.
Okay.
Okay, not that it was $10, but just in a range under $1 million. Okay.
Oh, that's fine.
Then you'd be telling the truth. It was. Yeah.
Okay.
See? No, just kidding. He won't do that, will you? I don't think. So, and
I gotta make up another story.
I know, right, okay. Make up a better one, right. No, this is a nice, I mean, it is a very nice thing. It made, again, I've traveled over there in Cambodia and Vietnam, and I love it over there, but I try to go to the most remote parts that I could. But I did see something, similar things. It was the 80s, late 80s. Right. And similar bronze pieces I
just could never find anything online about it.
Even when you typed in the made in Indochina?
Oh yeah, that part you can find about the history of the countries.
Of the country, yeah. There's some amazing French objects by people like Cruet and these great furniture designers over in Southeast Asia. But this is more of a decorative thing, and you had never had it appraised, I guess, right?
No.
Yeah. So I mean, so
it's under $1 million.
It's under $1 million.
All right.
That's it. That's at a hand. Under $1 million. Come on.
All right.
But thanks, man. Thanks a
Thank
lot,
you.
man.
I want to let you know this visit was a birthday gift from my beautiful wife.
Oh, that's really nice. Right here? Oh, hey, thank. I don't know, he's gonna say, why'd you give me that gift? I didn't need to be leaked, you know. He told me my thing wasn't worth anything. Thank you.
Under $1 million?
Under a million, remember that. Just keep that story.
Right.
Thanks a lot, then. Okay, now, and we're just switching mics out, and we have some other items coming up.
A mint? Yeah.
This camera?
Put it right here.
Which camera? What do you say?
It's on this camera right now, so we have it. So just keep it on.
Oh.
You want a mint? We're gonna do it over your shoulder.
Okay, so we have another item coming up, and the thing is, we don't know exactly, I don't know what's coming up next. And
Yeah, I don't know
I
if
did
I
see an
can-
image, we have this gentleman with some pictures, so I
Yeah.
know they're framed pictures, they look like drawings.
Okay, yeah, well, I can get up there,
Yeah,
but
wanna
I
hand-
no, that's fine.
Okay, you got it. You got it, man.
Yeah.
I'll grab them if you want.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
no
good, I
problem. Here,
appreciate
here,
it.
Thanks a lot. That's great. That's great. Actually, thank you so much. Thank you. My name's Leigh Keno, sir. Your name is?
Tom Burks.
Mr. Birch. Thank you. May I use your first name for the
Sure,
camera? Thank you,
sure.
Tom. And, okay, let's see what we have here. What's the story on these?
Well, I inherited them
From?
well, a long time ago I was running cattle down in Belize, and I met this Englishman at the racetrack, and we got to be friends, and on his death, his wife told me that he wanted me to have these, and so I've got them.
That's so cool. So he left them to you? Actually, he left them to you.
Yeah.
You guys are friends, and you became friends at the racetrack? You were running cattle to where?
Well, down in Belize.
How cool is
I
that?
had a cattle ranch.
In Belize. That's
Well, it's
amazing.
British Honduras.
Oh, I know. I've heard that bone fishing there is great for fly fishing.
Yeah.
In Belize,
best.
in the flats. Do you fish?
That's right.
You do?
I used to.
Oh gosh, that's one of the best bone fishing areas. I think that's eastern Belize, right? But
Yeah.
but you met an Englishman. He actually left you these. I think that's cool because they're all English, you know.
Yeah.
And how appropriate. Though, have you had them appraised at all?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Okay. So what we're looking at, and so if you want to close in, I'm sorry, Tom, that I can't show them to you, but you know which one I'm looking at, so I could show the camera. That this is a small sketch, watercolor and ink sketch of it says underwriter bad or good news at Lloyd's Coffee House. So it's a caricature, and this says It says T. Rowlandson. Rowlandson. I think that's a Thomas Rowlandson.
Thomas Rowlandson.
Thomason? Okay. And I only happen to know about Thomas Rowlandson because I've seen some wonderful caricatures that he's done, and his whole life. He was born in the 1750s.
Yeah,
right?
1780s.
To the-
1770s, right?
Yeah.
Died in 1827.
Right, died in 1827. So he worked right throughout the third quarter of the 18th
Yeah.
century, I think. And and he did to stay out of debtor's prison because he was always trying to keep working because he literally was in danger of going into debtor's prison all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe he would do these caricatures, and I just happen to know about Lloyd's Coffee House because it was one of the great places that you could have a conversation about politics, about do business deals, and this is something long lost to us, probably some that was going on in the day, that an underwriter bad news at Lloyd's Coffee House,
Yeah, that was the origin of Lloyd's of London.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, I think it was the earliest coffee house.
Yeah.
The social club kind of that
it was.
existed. So, did it go back to the 1600s? I think.
A long time.
Yeah, I think
I'm not
16.
even sure.
I think 1660s, and people like in the 18th century, around the time this was done, Ben Franklin was hanging out there at Lloyd's Coffee House, and
Probably where the action was.
It's where the action was. You wanted to make a deal, you wanted to get a tip on shipping, and it was, but these, obviously a caricature, this is, well, I look, this guy's got as big a nose as I do, so, I got him beat. No, but they're caricatures, so, got the lumpy face, and this guy looks like a Pinocchio situation.
Yeah.
But they are sketches in watercolor and ink on early paper, the period paper, and so we have this, which is not, to tell you the truth, that's not signed, but it looks like it's by the same.
Yeah, it's by the,
Yeah, also by him, right? As you already knew that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this says tamed
creatures
Tame,
confined.
Yep, tame animals confined, exactly. And some nuns behind bars when these kind of grotesque old guys, leer in. So this kind of making some kind of again a cartoon of the day, caricature, and sort of like Hogarth was doing and all that during the time. But this artist Rowlandson was praised by people like Copley and Benjamin West. They literally talked about him during the day as being this great cartoonist. So and now we don't know his name a lot, but anyway, so we have two Rowlandsons, and then we have this landscape. What do you know about the landscape?
Well, it's just during the Napoleonic Wars,
Yep.
they were marching to some seaport.
Right.
So you can see that's a big long
Yep.
line of
long line of people.
soldiers.
Did you have it? It came like this, right?
No, I had to frame them because for protection.
Just for protection.
They were sent across the ocean in a cylinder.
Really?
Tube.
A tube. That's probably the safest way, right? I mean, as long as it's sealed up. But now but you did a nice job framing them all, and so this landscape's that's exactly. It makes sense that it's the Napoleonic Wars that these soldiers are it looks like the countryside's all getting together to support their country, which they did during the Napoleonic Wars in the late 18th century. A nice bucolic landscape, though, with a couple here watching, and the boats are there, and a castle in the background. And he would do this sort of thing for decorative. So he did these decorative works for the house, and then the caricatures, But all together, I mean, and I know you don't you probably will never sell them because they're a gift from a friend.
Well,
Well, the heck with it, right? I love it. Well, okay. Well, I'm just chuckling because, I thought you were good friends with that guy. I'm kidding.
well, I know it, but,
I'm just teasing. I had too much coffee this morning or something, but I think, listen, he would like you to do. He was your friend, and you could sell him and buy some Bitcoin or something like that. He wouldn't complain.
well, these are fun.
They're really fun, and they tell a story about a certain time and a certain place. And they're wonderful. And
See, this one, for instance,
right here.
What's going on there is these old buzzards are propositioning these girls in this convent.
Yeah.
Which was where, if somebody's daughter was a little bit frisky, they'd send them to the convent.
Yes. Yeah. But they're the innocent faces here in contrast to these kind of grotesque older. What do you call them? That's exact buzzards. No, what?
Little buzzards.
Yeah, that's exactly what they are. And they're sitting there scratching their chin. So yeah, that's
their wallets.
That's their wallet right here. Yep, tame animals confined. So obviously being ironic and all that, and that again, he would make enough money on this to make a living. So value-wise, I don't know if you checked, but the market over his work is kind of all over the place. But his sketches like this, his watercolors, these bring in the hundreds of dollars. Kind of like the smallest one, like here, like probably $200 to $400, and this probably because we know what's going on here. Like you explained it so much more eloquently than I could, and he figured it out. Because I just knew there were two old buzzards looking at some nuns, And that's exactly, I didn't know the story about the, if you're, about the frisky part. And that'd be worth probably about up $750 for that to $1,000 even. I mean, it's, that's, and maybe even $1,200. I mean, we're talking about a late 18th century wonderful work by a very well-known artist, but he was very prolific, and that's why his name is quite well known amongst people who collect drawings. And then this large one, is that signed underneath the mat at all? That's
No,
signed?
it's not.
Yeah, I mean, it does look like his work, as I saw a couple landscapes, and so he was capable of, you can see, of also adding depth to his pictures, perspective and all that. He quite a great artist as far as being sketchy. He just sat there. It's like you feel like he kind of doodled and did this amazing depiction, of these soldiers marching off. So this, I think, would be worth upwards of $1,500 to the right person, and and if it can be definitely attributed to to the artist, maybe a little more, to Rowlandson. So, but thanks a lot. I think the story is great, and it's you have good memories of being at the track with your friend, right? And I think that sounds fascinating. The cattle business to Belize, it sounds exotic to me. To somebody from upstate New York like me, that's pretty cool.
Well, it was.
Yeah, that must have been. How far is Belize? I mean, how far is that?
Oh, it's on the other side of Mexico.
Yeah, right. I know it's in South America, but I know they have
It's alongside Guatemala.
Yeah. So you probably have some great stories. Yeah.
Not for here.
That's right. We'll have a beer later or something. Okay. So, but seriously, thanks so much for coming. I'm really
you're
honored
welcome.
to have. Thank you very much.
Happy to do it.
Thank you really appreciate it. I'll get these.
Let me see if I
These are
can
really cool.
get down from here without breaking my neck.
You'll be able to do it.
Hang on
I'm
just a
going to
second.
frisk you here. Let me get this guy.
Oh.
Thank you so much. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're
Almost
welcome.
there. Appreciate it. I got both mics now. Watch out. So, what do we have coming up? Okay, yeah, that's fine. Thanks. Just one sec, you guys. Oh, thank you. Sorry, you're waiting. You're like, where's my picture? You're gonna take it. Okay. So, you bring up I'd save the drawings till after the break. When's the break? 15 minutes?
Okay, see if I can get it to
20 minutes?
behave. It's going to be.
Yeah. Sorry about that, you guys. Next is a violin. Let's have a
Let me do
hand.
this the other way.
Yeah, come on.
Thank
Give
you.
me a hand up. You
Appreciate
got
it.
it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So,
I'm Leigh.
I'm Linda.
Linda, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as
You
well.
look lovely.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Lovely.
So this belonged to my grandfather and great-grandfather and passed to my mother
Yeah.
and then to me. It's in terrible shape. I know nothing more about it than that. I don't know if any of the family ever played it, but it hasn't. It's written on the inside. Stradivarius model, made in Germany.
Yep.
Rebuilt by J.N. Nolan, I believe, in 1938.
I'll be darned. Let me just take a look here.
Okay.
And first of all, I have to tell you, I am not. I saw that there was a violin and thank you for bringing it. I'm not. I hate to disappoint you. I'm not a musical instrument expert, and I know a lot of them, and I've worked with them and filmed with them over the years, and they could. But I do know a couple of basic
Basic
facts
things,
about it,
okay.
Basic things I could tell you, and then we could go from there.
Okay.
I'm sorry you're not getting my feed, are you? There. Okay. Sorry about that. So now let me tell you. First of all, the provenance. You said it came from it's come down 3
Grandparents,
generations. 3 generations. And do you play violin?
I do not. I play the piano, but not the violin.
Okay. And just one sec. Will you hold it,
hold it,
please? Thank you.
gladly.
So first of all, I'm looking at it. First thing, first of all, it looks like it's had quite a life. If this violin could talk, right?
Well, my grandfather called it a fiddle. It wasn't a violin in his.
Yep, it is a fiddle, right? It's a very sophisticated fiddle.
That's right.
Okay, I'll tell you. Let me take a look at. I think.
Boy, it looks like it's broken.
Yeah, I know, right? Just a sec. I think this is an antique mic.
There it goes.
There we are. Thank you. Okay. So, okay. Can you guys hear me? All right. Thanks. Thanks for waiting. Okay. First of all, again, I always look at the back, and I'm going to jump right into it because I'm not an expert, but I look at that very nice tiger maple, which you can see there on the back. But one of the first things we go to is the back.
Is it a solid piece or is it?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And you know what I'm going to say, that usually you want to see a solid piece right there.
Absolutely.
You see how this is laminated down the middle. And having said that, this violin has some age, as you know, you can tell, but it has patina, and I wish I was going to bring a light up. Actually, maybe if you wouldn't mind, an iPhone light would be great. And I'm going to look inside really quickly, and okay, thank you. Okay, and I'm just going to look here. Yep. I'll tell you. And I wanted to see if I could see the label. Just one sec. Oh yeah, there it is. Yep. Okay, and it's always nice to see that something's repaired and a document of that. Back in 1935, and oh yes, Stradivarius, yeah, okay, model, made in Germany. Yep. Okay, so and rebuilt, yeah, as you said, by J.K. and Lowe in 1938. Yeah, and so it's a Stradivarius model, so that means that the design of it right.
Designed after a Stradivarius.
After Stradivarius, the famous violin maker, of course, from 400 years ago, actually, almost. And the thing is, again, the first thing you want to do, again, is look at the back. You see the tiger maple, but on the original Stradivariuses, you had. And this is not pretending to be that. It's not a fake. I've seen fakes that are really good. Yeah, I've had people, run up to me.
Believe it was surely the real thing.
Absolutely. But this is not. This is like, it might need some repairs here and there, but it's lovely. I think that with something like this, the family history is so important because your whole
passed down for a long time.
Family has passed it down, and did it bring back memories when you were little?
No, I really didn't even know it existed until I was an adult.
Okay.
So it's been kept in a trunk of some sort, and as an adult, my mother said, "We've got a Stradivarius." And I was like, no.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, well, it's all right.
She was convinced, and
she was convinced.
I'm having this done simply in her memory because she wanted to do this in her lifetime, and she was not able to.
She wanted to bring this in.
Oh, for our Antiques Roadshow. That was her desire.
That's so special. I mean, see, she did it.
She's watching. I have no doubt.
That's very. It is touching, and and we now we'll tell her not to watch because we're going to say it's
not going to be what you thought.
Just go get a coffee for a while, and we'll be. And then I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Okay. So, no, seriously, it is a lovely thing, and that's where the value is the fact
Absolutely.
that your mom, your mom would have loved to do it in person. I'm sorry.
She would have,
but
I can represent her.
You are doing a good job of that, and thanks. And I really even hate to put a value on something like this because
I really didn't expect one.
Exactly, and that's what a lot of people tell me is that Leigh, I don't want to hear the value. I just want to know. I just want to hear something about it.
Confirm what I think about it.
Yeah, confirm what you think, and so although it's not a Stradivarius, it was made in the style of, and it's been around. This has been around for at least until the late 19th century, is my guess, and possibly earlier. And again,
well loved and well used.
Well loved, well used. It has real ebony here on the bone, the strut, and this is beautiful wood, and beautiful tiger maple, or curly maple as they call it. But But, and I love the inlay, this double line inlay around the edge. See that? I don't know if sorry that you can't see in the audience, but we'll close in on that light and dark. We call it stringing, ing, and it's just gorgeous. Nice S curves there, right? Well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Really
Thanks
appreciate
for
it.
your time.
Yeah,
Thanks
really
for being here.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
absolutely.
Thank you. Very nice. Thank you. Now we have, yes.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so
Come on up. Okay, let me help you with that that mic.
I'll give it right here to my,
Let me get
my
that
mic,
off
yes.
you.
You do
Sorry,
that.
I'm frisking you.
You are.
Okay, I promise I won't pinch. Okay, get that. Oh, thank you. I'm going to bring this right up. Yeah, look at this. We got, interesting, right? See, I did, okay. Wow, 100 million, right. This could be the one.
I'm coming.
Thank you, you're coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm Leigh.
I'm Jane.
Jane, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You're lovely.
Thank you, thank you. Glad to
I
be here.
I say that to the ladies from the bottom of my heart. The guys, they don't hear it. I mean it. It's really Jane, right?
Yes.
Is that with a Y?
No, J-A-N-E.
J-A-N-E. Thank you, Jane. Well, what's the story?
The story is my father, a medical doctor, was in Tientsin, China at the end of World War II.
Okay.
And became great friends with the Swiss consul general, whose nickname was Snooks Jorg.
Snooks. Okay.
And Trudy. And when they were going back to Switzerland, and my father had admired this so much, and he gifted it to Dad.
Wow.
And he's loved it all, his whole life. He died when he was 94, back in 2009. But he gave it to me out of 4 children. He gave it to me, and he said, if you ever have a chance to take it on Antique Roadshow, please do. And so I feel like I'm fulfilling his
that's
dream.
so nice, sweet. That's so sweet. That's sweet, isn't it? Yeah, that's. I kiss you for the COVID thing. No, right. That's so touching, and that's so sweet that you're doing this.
Guanyin, the goddess of mercy.
Right, exactly. Well, I only say I'm sorry you hear about your dad, that he had a good long life. I hope I last that long.
Me too.
Yeah.
And he died of natural causes.
Oh, that's nice. That's well, thank you. Thanks for bringing it in. I happen to love all my life, but recently intensely, Chinese works of art, and especially porcelain, but also carvings. And you already, as you know, it's Guanyin, who is quite a famous deity in Chinese literature, going quite a ways back, going back into the Ming Dynasty. So going back into the way back, but in this piece, and she's usually depicted, she's holding either a scroll or a rui,
Yes.
And they also call it a linju, and she's usually there's a wind blowing, so you have this windswept look, and often she's on the back of a fish, sometimes on a lotus plant. Anyway, it's beautifully carved, and your dad loved her for good reason,
I just think she's beautiful.
She's just beautiful. As a wood guy, I wish I could. I'm trying to. Since you brought it up, I've been trying to figure out exactly what wood.
Said it was rosewood.
Yeah,
you think that?
I think you're right, and there's a chance that there's a wood called Wanwali.
Yes, Wanwali. He told me about that.
Did he? Yeah. Did he think it might? I mean, that's.
Yes, he did. He did.
Yeah. I mean, it's Wanwali has a particular grain in it. It's a wood in China that was, as you know, it was actually quite really desirable. You know, I mean, they made furniture out of it for the emperor's family. They made things out of Wanwali. In the early Ming Dynasty, back into the into the 1400s, and 1300s actually. So anyway, when furniture is made of Wanwali, it's worth a fortune, and it also depends. So in China, with anything really, it depends what something's made of and what age it was, what age it is. And in this case, we're trying to figure out the age. I think there is a chance that it's made of Wangwali because it's very dense. And I'm looking for these little faces that you usually see. They're called like ghost faces. And I'm not seeing them yet, but that doesn't mean this isn't Wangwali or Hongmu or some other wood like that. But it has a nice patina. And people ask, like, why? What's the big thing about patina with a sculpture, right? You know, what do you? I mean, the fact is, the high points are nicely because it's been touched and it's been loved. Her high points are light, and the dark, the parts that didn't get touched are dark, and that contrast, is what makes it wonderful. You have sculptural 3D quality. If somebody cleaned this all up, it would be more flat looking. You wouldn't,
Yes, you wouldn't have the patina.
The patina, exactly, the patina. And looking at the side on the robes, how it's dark, light, and that just makes it visually great. And so. It's certainly a lovely piece. I'm gonna help to date the piece. We look at the bottom, and on the bottom, the way this is cut and everything tells me a little bit about the age, And it's like chopped. It's not totally finished. So we know it's not an imperial piece because it would be totally finished. It is from the Qing dynasty, so it'd be somewhere between 1644. In 1911, that Qing dynasty with many reigns in it, but I think it was made. We have the Qing dynasty, which went up to 1911. You also have a period just after that called the Republic period. Now, and as I say, made in the Qing dynasty, I'm thinking maybe it's a little bit later than that. So dates probably from the Republic period, which went up from 1911. Into almost the mid-century, and some very major objects were made in the Republic period, So this is really nice. To tell you that, right? Really, it's good. But it's not going to have huge value because this is not something made, during an imperial reign again. But porcelain from the Republic period has sold for. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, like a vase. I mean, so it doesn't mean that because it's 20th century, it's not valuable. And having said that, this has patina, this has color, it has weight, and it's made of a really nice wood. So, I mean, I don't like. Your dad wouldn't have wanted to hear a price, right? Ever. So I'm not even going to. I don't want to undignify, I should say, the appraisal by giving a price, But let's say it's not huge value, but it's also not just a few dollars, So it's nice.
Yeah, it has emotional value, tremendous emotional value.
Well, the fact that you're here today is like.
Well, that makes me so happy.
It makes me. And again, I would give you a hug. So over that, and if I could, thank you. I thank you very much.
It's wonderful.
Thank you very much.
I think the Wangwali wood, I believe, is extinct now.
The Wangwali, they still there's something called Zitan that is extinct, almost extinct. It's a redwood that's one of the heaviest woods in the world. But the Wangwali is very rare. But they still have it.
Some?
Yeah, they still have some, but it's really rare.
I was going to say, when he was in what he refers to always as Peking.
Yes, instead of Beijing,
instead of Beijing.
That goes back,
He was befriended by the buyer for Gumps.
Really?
And
oh my gosh.
he took him to a few of the shops, and he brought some pieces home. I do have a chair made out of Wangwali.
Oh, wow.
With the original woven seed. Anyway,
well,
beautiful
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I'd love to show it to you. Okay.
Yeah, well,
I'll
get in touch. If you find any porcelain around, let me know.
Oh, okay. Okay, great.
I'll be over the next second.
Thank you so
10
much.
minutes.
Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. That was great. That was like one thing I absolutely love is that to hear stories like that and like this and it's just very touching. A couple times I've been on TV and choked up, and the camera guys are like. Then later they said, "We didn't get the right angle. I got to reshoot that." And I thought, I'm not going to reshoot getting choked up. But that was touching, because I love my parents, and my mom's gone, and I think of that, and I miss my mom. So I'm gonna get choked up. So no, anyway, listen, tomorrow, I just want to remind you, while we're waiting for the next piece, are we gonna take a break? Okay, just tomorrow, please remember that we're gonna be going antiquing tomorrow and having a camera crew with us. We're going to try to find treasures. We're not going to try to find treasures. We're going to find treasures. Okay? So come along with us tomorrow on Ruby Lane. It's going to be streaming live. Thank you. We're going to take a break. Thank you, guys. Thank you. At 6 minutes, we'll be back in. Really good to meet you.
Oh, so nice to meet you, too. Thank you so
really,
much.
Yeah, really. Are we ready? He's ready. So, Kurt.
Well, I just want to say, on behalf of Camp for All, thank you to RoundTop Publishing and Paper City for this event, for being the beneficiaries of this event, and honestly, Leigh, for thinking of the idea that this event should benefit more than just the great antiquers who want to hear your advice, but also a camp for people with special needs. And Camp for All, for those of you who don't know, Camp for All is a camp for children and adults with special needs and challenging illnesses. Right here in Burton, Texas, just down the road. I live there, and we're a camp that in a typical year, how many people have said that this year, right? In a typical year, we serve over 10,000 children and adults with special needs and challenging illnesses.
Wow, that's wonderful.
When the kids and the adults, when they come to camp, they get to do things like zip lining and swimming and archery, horseback riding, all the things that many of us did when we went to camp. But these are children with muscular dystrophy and spina bifida and cerebral palsy and cancer and kidney disease and heart disease and many, many others. And they get to come to camp and they get to be a kid. They get to figure out what they can do as opposed to what they can't do. And so I just want to say that, thank you. I just want to say that we are so excited that you're doing this. Thank you so much. This has been a great event.
Kurt,
I really appreciate it.
Kurt, thank you. It's an honor to be for doing it for such a great cause. And I understand that also at Camp for All, you have students that go to the camp and get a different perspective on life, spending a day there with the students.
There are schools in the Houston area that serve a variety of different populations, kids with different learning disability or learning abilities, disabilities, all kinds of things, and they'll come out to camp during the weekday during their school time and really get a sense of what it's like to be around different people. They get to be around people who are like them and do some amazing things. And even today, I've heard some great stories of a parent who has a child that's been able to come to Camp for All because of a school that child went to, and that's the impact that we make, and that's the impact that you're making by doing this, and that all of you are making by being here. So I really do appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kurt. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Okay, so you know what a good cause this is for, and I'm actually proud to be a part of this anyway, but to know that it's benefiting Camp for All is like makes it a whole nother level. I mean, so we're pretty soon we're going to have our next guest, and looks like an interesting object. I don't think I saw an image of this. And again, that's what makes it fun, is that it's kind of like we're winging it, and it makes it. It's not reality TV like where you plan out the next part. You know, it's as it goes along, we do it. You know, it's right. Well, it's like instant appraisal. So I think I lost my clip, but see what I mean? It's real time. Do you have that clip anywhere? It's like I'm going to find a treasure sometime, but not at finding a mic clip. I don't know where that might be. Yep, I'm back. No, I'm back. I did not even have alcohol for lunch. I promise you. Wait. Oh, there it is. Oh, it was on my tie. You tricked me. Okay. Thanks.
Not intentional.
Thanks so much. Okay. Thanks so much. Come on up, please. Oh. Looks interesting. How are you? Hi.
How are you?
Fine. How are you? I'm Leigh.
I'm Holly.
Holly, nice to meet you.
Nice to
I know
meet
we
you.
shouldn't shake hands. But
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's my fault. I put my hand up. Holly, thank you for bringing this. What do you know about it?
I know very little. It was my step-grandmother's, and she was born in 1904, and I know she studied in France when she was young. And as my grandmother, I know she went there twice a year, every year in April and October. She was a real Francophile. And I got this, she died in '87, but I got this in '97 when my grandfather died.
Okay, you
And the pin scar.
Your grandfather died, he died in 97, roughly. And you've taken good care of it ever since. I see the little hinge there.
Yes,
That's
yes.
right. You had a little hinge on it. And so that.
So I tried to find who these figures were,
right.
But I haven't had any luck, and I may have been looking in the wrong century. I don't really know.
What century were you looking?
Well, I was thinking that maybe it was like a revival of Rococo.
Okay.
But maybe it's not. I don't know.
You do pretty good research, I say. You're pretty because I'm cut to the chase.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is kind of a Rococo revival piece. But here's the catch: it's beautifully made. Because we saw it had a piece earlier. We talked about. Do you feel that? You probably felt it.
Yes.
Before.
That right.
It's a slightly rounded base, and that was to ground away the pencil mark again for this hand-blown piece of glass.
Okay.
It's ground away. You know, it's this little distance. It's kind of hard to see. I think on the camera, but maybe you can see it. You can feel it certainly. Yeah.
You want me to hold it?
No, I got it.
Okay.
If you don't mind, I'm just showing it to the camera. But thank you. I'll be really careful.
All right.
With it. I know people when I was 12 and went to reach for stuff, they go, that hippie's touching my china. And then I start talking to them about it. They say, oh, you know about antiques, you're 12. And they stopped having a heart attack.
Yeah.
That I was going to break it. But this is, you're right on the nose. It's Rococo revival.
Okay.
You know, and because I got to tell you how I know, and you might have figured part of this out, and is that it's the way it's cast. And you look at the castings, which are Rococo, they're kind of a combination of Renaissance revival and some Rococo.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Rococo being asymmetrical up here, but this is a cast. The cast, it is a brass. I was going to say bronze. And it has these kind of figures. I'm guessing these are people like, they usually put Robespierre, like Shakespeare, all the different monumental people in history. And I think we may have Queen Victoria added.
Oh wow!
I'll show the camera in the front, right there. Possibly Queen Victoria, which should make probably this in English piece in the French taste.
Oh, interesting.
You know, English and in the French taste, in the kind of almost actually the Louis XIII taste that these supposed to be. But you know, it's kind of like these revivals were kind of like a chili where you took a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then you made a bowl of chili.
Shake it all together.
And you mix them all together, right? And it comes out. Oh, so it's not one style, right?
Right.
It's a good bowl of chili. You know, I'm hungry. I like chili too. Nobody's offering us any, so it looks like I'm not going to get any. Anyway, what would you like to know about this? So, you want to know how old?
Well, yeah, I was wondering how old it was, and that's great to know that it's English, maybe, and not French.
And not French.
Yeah.
And this little cast figure on top, this kind of chinoiserie figure, it looks like a little, Chinese. It's certainly, an Asian kind of a Buddha type figure, kind of. You know, that's kind of the Chinese Chippendale mixture of it in that bowl of chili, that creates this piece.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll stop doing the chili analogy, sorry.
And then I wondered about these ovals, these little applied ovals.
Yeah, and these are what I think are the characters. They're glass, and they're kind of, these are printed on there. It's like a transfer process that they would have used to transfer the onto this little panel, which is held by this mesh around it. So they're not part of the glass here, but they're kind of applied panels.
Right.
And it's a cool little, and you probably, the thing is, you say, I'd say, what is it? And that's a good question, because it's like an inkwell,
Yeah.
But so you see the there where it snapped off is just where it was blown.
Right.
See, it's uneven kind of in there. And it could be too big for a perfume bottle.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because if it's perfume, that's
it's absolutely
pretty
possible,
substantial.
And it's absolutely possible. But anyway, these characters, I'm pretty sure that's Queen Victoria, which would date it from the second half of the 19th. Or early second half. Okay, so value-wise, it's not going to be great, but it
Yeah.
has sentimental value, right?
Right,
You know?
right.
It's going to be like, you know, and usually on you guys, my mic, yeah. You guys, I'll tell you, you guys love me. No wonder you guys missed all my good jokes. Somebody get like all that time I was micless. Oh my gosh. Well, you guys are, I wonder why you weren't laughing at my jokes. I feel much better. Gosh, you missed some good ones, I'll tell you. Geez, I was going to ask my son, I'm going to take this off my tie and put it on my jacket. Sorry about that. You know, isn't that funny? That is not funny. So you guys, I was sitting there going, what's going on? Sorry about that. Oh, you guys are good. Thank you. I'm going to put this right on my jacket. Is that better? Is that all right? Okay, let's hear it. Okay, come on a little closer, just a little bit. Okay, so that's good. I love the fact, this is what I love. So you guys missed all that. So basically we were saying that this is probably a perfume bottle. I think you're right. And then you kind of guessed that. In the Rococo style, and kind of with a little bit of Renaissance revival mixed in, with a little bit of chinoiserie mixed in with the figure on top. You know, the little Buddha type figure. So it's all these things mixed together, and on the sides we have people that are probably like Shakespeare with the beard. I'm guessing that's Shakespeare, and one's Robespierre. I think I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong. But people of renown, you know. And then we think that's Queen Victoria. And I guess that's Queen Victoria here, right on there. You know,
That makes more sense.
Holly, it does. And the color.
I'm an interior designer.
You're an interior. She couldn't resist. Interior designer. That's great. That's great. Do you design homes right here?
Yes, residential. Color schemes are important.
Oh, that's great. What's your business name?
Hollis Hibbert
Gonna give a
Design.
plug here. Sorry.
Hollis Hibbert Design.
Hollis Hibbert Design. Hope you don't mind giving that plug. I'm the one that pulled it out of you, so it wasn't. Well, listen, no, that Hollis Hibbert Design. Well, and you find things a lot of times here at RoundTop.
I do. And my mom was an antique dealer.
Oh, really?
And she specialized in English, so
English.
I'm embarrassed that I didn't know this was English.
Don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed. I mean, at all. This is a lovely thing. And you said possibly. I'm looking in the wrong century. You were looking in the 18th century first, but it's 19th century, post 1850 to 1870, and a lovely piece. And I think the coolest thing is that that's probably Queen Victoria, which makes sense. It makes sense.
Right.
It puts it in England, not in France. Right. So, in the castings, which you guys missed earlier, but the castings we were talking about, you missed all the secret stuff, all the good stuff. But why these are not 18th century? Why they are actually just all the secret stuff, all the good stuff, but why these are not 18th century? Why they're actually 19th century castings? But seriously, it's just because of the lightness of them. If they were 18th century, as you guessed, they might be a little heavier, a little more substance.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that it's not a lovely thing, and it's your family keepsake.
Yes.
So I don't want to really put a value. I mean, it doesn't have tremendous value. You know, under $300 or so.
Okay.
You know, but don't worry about the hinge. I wouldn't. You know, if it doesn't bother you, it doesn't bother me. Won't bother anybody. Thank you so much, though.
You.
It's really a special keepsake. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Holly. Thank you, y'all. So, just 1 second. We're gonna switch it up. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Turn around for me. Okay. Do a little spin.
Yep.
The audience wants to see a spin.
Yeah, right. So we're just getting a pinch here.
All right, Leigh. Let me see that caboose.
You
got that?
I got that.
All right.
I got that. Thank you. Thank you very much, Alex. Okay, we are back, and we have the next guest is getting mic'd up right now and coming up. So I just want to remind everyone that, if you can hear me all right, can you hear now? Remind everyone that that tomorrow we're going to be antiquing and live streaming it here at the show, and we'll be walking all through High Top looking for treasures. And we're going to have a TV crew with us and a live stream crew, and it's going to be fun. And it's going to be live streamed on Ruby Lane. And you in the audience here have heard this like 15 times by now, but I'm excited about it, and I really can't wait. Come on up. Oh yeah.
Okay. Hi.
Thank you so much.
Hello. Hi.
How are you? I'm Leigh.
Good. I'm Lauren. Nice to meet you.
I'm Lauren. Nice to meet
Hi.
you.
Okay. So
what do you
she's
have?
really heavy.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
So I might need a
That's all
minute.
right. Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
We just want to leave her on
Oh
here?
yeah. You know what? Will the camera come over here? Does
Yeah,
it make
that's
it over
probably
here?
best.
Can you bring
Okay,
it over?
cool. She didn't
Okay.
travel well.
That's all right, Lauren. And maybe if you get this yours as well. No.
It's my mom's.
Oh, this is too,
Yes,
right? Okay.
that's right.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Come on over. We can.
That's great.
Okay. Well, then we can. Do you want to start with this off stage? You talk about it. What?
What would you like to start with?
This, I think. Yeah.
This one?
Yeah. Yeah. Let me get it. Let me get it. Sorry, guys.
All right. 2 young bucks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Two young
y'all
bucks,
made that
right.
look easy.
I'm doing it one-handed.
We had a struggle.
That's all right. Thank you. Thanks, Alex. Okay. So you went through a lot to get this here today, right?
Well, yes, she didn't travel as well as we thought, but the story on her is she was outside in the garden of our home in Colorado Springs as a child. When we moved, I loved her so much and decided to take her with us. The home was built in 1926, so we're not sure. We think she might be kind of old. And yeah.
So you grew up with running around the garden with her.
Yeah.
Come on up here a little bit.
Yeah,
next
she just stayed, and we love her.
That's very cool.
That's all we know.
And so you remember since you were a child, and the house was built in the 20s. You said, right? That do you know who the figure is? Have you figured out who it is?
I was hoping you could tell us.
Okay. You know, we earlier saw a little statue of the same goddess, but it's Guanyin.
Yep.
This goddess who's very popular for bringing all sorts of good blessings to the family, to everyone, and she's depicted in all kinds of forms. And here she's standing actually on a form of a lotus plant, and guys here. A lotus plant. So, and usually she's holding all types of things, and this time she has a small, I think a vase, and what does she have up here? Some kind of a scroll. The thing is, when these figures are stone, and in Ming Dynasty or even early Qing Dynasty, from the, let's say the late 1600s, anytime through the 19th century, and well carved, they are very, very valuable, And this, we have to look at with this is what the material is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably guessed it.
After she broke, we got a good hint.
So, is that what the tape is from?
That's the tape. Yeah, you can see the rebar in the center.
Yeah,
and
you did a good job.
It kind of killed the dream, but she still means a lot. And
no.
I know, we're like, man, this is it, and it's like on the way here, and so sorry to disappoint, but
don't be. What if I told you this is $1 million?
Oh, I doubt it, but I wish it wasn't broken.
If it wasn't broken, no, that's the good news. I won't play with you.
She didn't travel well.
No, listen. I mean, you got it here.
We did.
She has most of all of her head.
Mostly in one piece, right?
Yeah. She's not upset with you. You'll still have good luck.
Will she still bring us blessings?
Yeah, she will.
Okay,
She's going to bring you good luck. I can feel the vibes. I can feel it. No, but seriously, this is concrete. It's made of cement. And that's why it was heavy, and that's okay,
Sure.
It brings back, you didn't pay $20,000 for it. You got it from. It has family history, a family story to it, and it's Guanyin and on a lotus blossom stylized, standing in kind of the in the Qing Dynasty style, and so she could have been made here, I think, just as much as a swan could have, or a nice garden ornament, and probably from the 20s.
Okay.
I mean, you helped me with that date.
Yep.
I mean, that makes sense. So, and that's the good news. Is like if you really smashed a valuable one, you'd be like, and you could put it together and stuff that it would still take the value away. But here, I'll show you the back here. It's still got the. You guys want it to just break, don't you? So it's all on live stream, and you can say, I was right there when he smashed.
We wouldn't have to take her home and make our travels a lot easier. I'm kidding.
You wouldn't.
I'm kidding.
Take her back in the wheelbarrow.
She's great.
No, she is great. No,
she's very sad.
Here's the crack, but that was already cracked like that. I think.
Yeah, there was cracked, and then.
Yeah, so you didn't do that. You don't have to have any guilt or anything like that.
That's good. Just for the whole head this morning. Okay.
I'm playing with you. You seem nice, Tara. So I'll not have her back to you guys. Now, so value-wise, this is just decorative, and it has a great story. And you played in the garden with it, But the other object now, this is yours as well, right?
It is. It's my mom, so I'm gonna let her choose if she wants to come up or not.
Sure.
She's probably got some major stage fright.
Oh, great. Okay.
But she's saying no. So
Are you sure?
I can give
Where's
you
your
the
mom?
spiel on that.
Where's your
She's
mom?
right there upstairs. Just filming
Yeah,
her.
that you?
That's
Right
her.
there, come on, please.
No, I think
wait.
she'd rather not.
Oh, she's saying no.
She's like,
I'm not
we didn't
gonna
have
get
enough
you.
champagne. It's fine. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
I don't know, you're not
Not that
kidding.
kidding, yeah.
So we can
So I can
carry
give you
this
the spiel
up.
on this,
You wanna-
yeah. Mhm.
Maybe, is that better, Alex, for the camera if we bring it up there?
Okay,
We
we're
can,
gonna-
I can get her out of the way. Da-da-da-da.
You guys
Let me just bring it back here, and you guys, and then we'll
Okay.
get that one up here. No, just for, okay, thank you. You and I can pick it up, Alex. Right here, right.
Okay.
You get the other side.
I just want to watch.
Got this?
like-
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Okay.
You'll make it look so easy.
The suspense, the drama.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, I have to tell you that this is plastic.
Yes.
Okay, this.
Home
The
Depot
tires are
special.
rubber, Home Depot special.
That's right.
Yeah. What'd you get it for? What'd you get it for?
Just for him.
Well,
Just for him.
Bought
He's special.
custom ordered for
Yes,
the
custom
for the angel.
For Michael.
I think your family loves good blessing because they have Guanyin and cement, and then this piece, this angel. And what's the story on this?
Okay, so my mom was on eBay, and I guess a professor had an estate of some angelic church items,
Okay.
and she bid on it, paid $1,200, and that's all we really know about him.
Okay.
We think that the suit is not original because there's not two holes on the backside.
Oh, okay.
This is a new screw, but these screws are actually old, and we think that they're hand done. You can kind of see the difference.
Absolutely.
But this one's probably a Home Depot special.
We'll
And,
show you guys what we're talking about in a minute. So let
we can wheel him around.
I can do
He's-
it. Lauren, I got it. If you stay still, I'll tell you what. You stay right there. I won't knock you off.
You can see our
Okay.
nice cord. Also.
But so we have
Fascinating.
this. This is really cool what you're talking about because let me get my flashlight's over there. I just gotta get it instead of being lazy. Okay, so we have this. We have this angel, and Lauren, you mentioned these nuts and nuts and bolts, and that's a really cool thing that you mentioned that because I can look at that nut and bolt, know that clearly this one's replaced, right? Shiny, new, machine cut threads.
For sure.
This nut and bolt is 18th century. I mean, that is 18th century. That's hand cut thread with a hand cut nut. And literally, I've seen the machine that makes these. I used to collect catalogs of machines that make hardware. I know that sounds really crazy, right?
No,
really
not at all.
nerdy, I
It's
know. it
beautiful.
does. But I used to collect those catalogs. So, and also hardware catalogs from the 18th century. And that's an late 18th, kind of early 19th century bolt. They could have reused an old bolt, but this is no later. They kept making bolts like this into the early 19th century, but then they started making them totally differently. So anyway, and also that tells me that it's European. You see the little notches on the side of the nut? You guys can't see it out there, sorry. But if on Ruby Lane, if you can close in, you'll see that little notch. That's kind of you see that in Spain, Italy, things like that, places like that. And here you have these highly gilt wings with gesso that are, that help to date it. I don't want to take his wing off because that'll be bad luck on an angel.
Yeah.
But this is I see the whole bolt turns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's great that those remain. I mean, I always say you can date a piece like on furniture. You can date from the hardware, from what puts it together, the nails, the screws, the pins, and this helps date this piece. And I think that the clothing, in fact, is original to the piece. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
You mentioned the two holes. Was that you talking about these?
Yeah, so there's not a secondary hole in that. So
but
we thought maybe.
But I think, pardon me, I think there probably is.
I trust your judgment.
Yeah.
Better than ours.
Only because I think those bolts are replaced on that side. They're original on this. The wings are original, and they just did another. There's a hole there in the fabric, so you can. Yeah. So anyway,
Cool.
I think it's all cool, and it looks like it's one of those spaces in a shop window in an old, an old department store, right? With the clothes mannequins, a mannequin face, but the blue eyes, and so your mom got it, right? And how much did she pay for it?
She paid $1,200 and was told it came out of an Italian church. And
Okay.
that's really all the history we kind of knew on it.
Okay, that is so cool. So the Italian thing makes sense with the little
Sure.
bolts, and that is. We really didn't set this up, folks. Sounds like I'm going to be Mr. Smarty Pants. I guessed it right in the bolts. No, but seriously, that is cool to hear that, because it makes sense for an Italian piece. I'm not a clothing expert. This is lovely. This is silk, and this silk deteriorates. Do you guys know? If you have even curtains that are in the sun, for 40 years. That are silk to deteriorate, and this braiding is all nice, and wow, I wish that were a real emerald there. See that? That'd be great. Where's the jewelry specialist? That's a beautiful stone, though. Wouldn't that be funny? It's like your family fortunes right in a belly button.
There. Yep.
So, our family fortune found in Angel's belly button. Yep, there it is. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Let's see. That's pretty nice green. I'm not gonna.
We don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
Determined.
Protect that thing, though.
Sure, don't lose it.
Yeah, I'm serious. You really ought to check that out. I'm only 50% sure, but that it might be a green stone, that a garnet or something. But this is lovely gilding. It's lovely clothing. It's sculptured, and it's a nice size. And originally there was something on top, as we can see from, you guys can't see, some holes on the top, and but it's a great story. It's nice that your mom found it, and your mom's out there still, right? There you are, yeah. So, and did a good job. I think that the value, it's not going to be huge value because of the deterioration, but then again, you can't go out and find another one from, at the very latest, the early 19th century, and at the earliest, the very late 18th century. But I think early 19th century, looking at everything, that's not deteriorated, And so, value-wise, it's worth probably about what you paid, That's it, And, it could be a little higher, but I think that's about it. And, but it's really cool to see. And I know it looks a little scary without our headpiece, but I think I'm trying to think what it would have been. Do you think it would have been?
We think it may have been a helmet.
Yeah, a helmet. Yeah.
There came a little wig
Yep.
that came with him.
Yep.
But we think that's a little later.
That makes sense, the helmet,
Yeah.
because you have the Roman leggings.
The wig's creepy, so we just leave them without.
Yeah. You have the wig home?
We couldn't find it. It's like
Okay.
a little short blonde wig, and
he's very upset.
he looks better without it.
He doesn't agree. He's very upset.
He doesn't like it.
I think he's really
more blessings
look
with
at,
no wig.
Yeah, looking down and everything.
Yeah.
He's not
no,
happy.
so his head's normally not jank like this.
Oh,
like,
there you go.
Okay.
That's
Like,
better. He's been
he
like
doesn't travel well
been
either.
like-
It's fine.
now he's smiling. Honest to God,
He's
he was not
pleasant.
smiling before. I
Okay.
swear. Wind it back. You'll see. You're not smiling now. So, oh gosh, this is great. Okay, I just upped it. $300 right there. Okay.
take it.
With the head back up, right. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you
it's
so much.
fabulous. Such
Thank
a
you.
fan. You're
Thank you.
amazing.
Oh,
This is such a treat
You're
and an
kind.
honor. Yes.
Thank you so
okay,
much.
Now we got the hard
and we'll
part.
get these off.
Yeah,
okay?
thank you for
Lauren.
helping. Okay.
We'll get these.
Okay.
Okay, and we're going to get the next. I think the mic could go on the next. I'll get this.
Yeah, I got a
okay?
hot mic.
Don't worry
Get
about
it
this. We're going to leave Guanyin here for a minute and take care of the next. We'll get this off later. Okay? Don't worry about it. And we're going to set up in a minute for the next item. And the good thing is I don't really know what's going to show up next. I don't. I had some pictures of some things, but we're just winging it. And we're here at RoundTop doing the appraisals, an appraisal day for such a great cause. Such a great cause. And hi there. How are you? I think we have one of the owners here of this place. Am I allowed to say that?
Well, I guess you can. It's
if
true.
you can. You can say your name again if you don't
I'm
mind.
Katie Stavanaugh.
Katie Stavanaugh, nice to meet you.
Good to see you.
It's an honor. So you own part of this whole?
I do, and I've been involved with the RoundTop Antique Show for several years, and we're delighted you're here.
Thank you.
And this has just been so much fun, right, y'all?
Yeah. Thank you, Katie. Thank you. That's exciting. And what's the story with this?
So first you have to know my husband.
Okay. Let me put it
And,
up on this barrel here. Here, there we go. Okay.
He likes things that are heavy and unusual.
Yeah, I'm going to put it here and then move this barrel over.
Okay.
I just want to. You haven't been to Texas if you haven't wrangled the barrel. There you are. There. All right.
So we were in Maine on vacation about 15 years ago, and we found a roadside flea market, and I'd taken our daughter to the car, and he comes back and he said, I bought a lobster pot.
Okay.
And I said, okay. And he said, this woman said she had this lobster pot, and he said, how much? And she said, $20. And he goes, well, every Texan needs a lobster pot, right? So we take it back to the Airbnb, and the guy said, yeah, that's not a lobster pot.
Okay.
But we brought it home,
Yeah.
and we still have it, and we think it's a copper something. So I'm hoping you can tell me what it is.
You know, I did. That's a really good question. We have a hole in the top. There's nothing in there's no drain, right?
No.
You can't say it's a little guy's bathtub or something, you know, right? Or gal. I mean, lobster. You know, but it was bought in Maine, right? In Maine.
We found it in Maine.
Right near the coast. I mean.
We were either in Damascus or Wisconsin.
I mean, I think, actually, if the viewers on Ruby Lane would like to opine, I really honestly don't know for sure. Sometimes we have those what's-its things. But I do want to show one thing. And Katie, I'm going to turn it so the camera can see.
Okay.
So if you come around a little bit to the side, you can see what I'm talking about. This area here shows that it's well made. You see these almost dovetails right here? You guys see them out there? They're kind of, it's a line that comes up and it's like a dovetail in a side, in a drawer. That shows you how well this is made, wrapped all the way around, and on each end, it's two pieces, it has the dovetails. Nicely constructed, again, probably early 20th century.
Okay.
And we already know it's copper. And believe it or not, I have to tell you that I'm allergic to metals. Isn't that funny? I'm allergic to money, like pennies and quarters, anything copper, so except for silver and gold. And so I'm getting up. No. It's just like, so that's why I'm like, just as I touch it. But I get a headache.
Okay, well, let me open it for you.
No, it's not an emergency. I'm just explaining that I have to.
Benadryl, anybody?
No, not Benadryl. I'll be falling asleep up here. But I just want to say it's lovely. I like the patina on it. See, this color. And I'm just going to, and I like the bottom of it. And it's really oxidized. It looks like beautiful copper. How long does it take for copper to get that really green color when it's outdoors? Probably 40, 50, 60 years. And this doesn't have it yet, but it hasn't been outdoors that much.
No, we keep it inside.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of one of those what's-its, but I don't think the lobster pot idea is such a terrible idea.
Oh, really?
I can see this fitting into something and being heated. Can you guys also? You know? So, I don't think it's so crazy. The bottom is kind of blackened. You see the black, the really dark? It has a blackened bottom, which would be kind of a something, from fire. So we know it was heated up, and that might have been a way to have the water go in. So I think lobster. Who said it wasn't a lobster pot?
The people at our Airbnb, he said that
that guy should get in a different business. So
he said they had a place in their fireplace that this would sit down in and heat water, and the steam would come out the hole.
For what, a facial or something?
No,
I'm kidding.
He said he kept their phone books in it.
That's a good idea. I mean, this is a great thing to keep things in. You're right, but it's not a phone book cooker. So I think seriously, I think it's a. I think the lobster pot story is the best one to go with, but I am not the expert. I can't. It is a what's-it still. Okay. So
is it worth $20?
It's definitely. It's worth more than that in copper.
Oh, okay. Good. That's all we care about, right?
Let's hear it for the lobster pot. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
Thank
Katie,
you.
I'll get it off here. Thank you, though, Katie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Just a minute. Get this up. Okay.
I'll come get it.
If you could have the runner-ups faster, have them ready faster. Okay, so we're back, and so for the next appraisal, that's whatever you want to do. Yeah, come on. You want to come up? Yeah. We're going to set up the, I'll get that. You got that. We're going to set up the table here and get a board back up. So that's, look at that. We're back. All right, we're back. All right, so for those of you watching, we have a number of things coming up, and there's a pretty cool thing coming up with I think an interesting story. I've heard only a bit about it, and but I want to mention tomorrow, if you tune in, please, to rubylane.com, and we're going to go antiquing with a camera crew, and we're going to find treasures. So please tune in, check it out, and it's going to be fun. I'm not even sure where we're going, but we're going to find some sleepers. That's what I always call them. So thank you. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you today?
Good. You're
Ryland.
How are you, Ryland?
Fine, thanks.
Fine. Nice to. Thank you for bringing these.
Oh, well, thank you for looking at them.
What's the story?
Okay, so these boots were born in the late 70s, early 80s.
Okay.
And my father bought them for my mother on a trip to Santa Fe.
Okay.
They're Ralph Lauren. And you can see the hand stitching here.
Right here. Yeah, I can see it. I'm showing it right out here. So the Ralph Lauren from what year?
I'm going to say 1980.
That's from the 80. Okay. Well, I tell you, my son Brandon had a look at this, and he's interested in men's workwear and all this, and really knows about boots. And is Brandon around? There's Brandon. Brandon, is he around? This wasn't set up. I thought you were getting a sandwich. How are you?
How are you?
Hi.
Ryland, how are you?
Ryland, my son Brandon.
So there's a mic.
Yeah, I'm going to put the mic on you.
I have to stand really close to you because you got that
Yeah,
battery
no,
pack.
you don't have to stand close at all now. I think it's all yours.
Oh, there we go.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Really? Are you sure?
Can you hear?
We're tied to the hip.
No, that's all right. Doesn't matter where that is.
Sure.
Let's try. Just try that. Wait. Can you guys say testing?
Testing.
A little louder.
Testing.
That good? Yeah,
Hello.
good.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Great.
So you said. So when did you say you got these?
Okay, so my mother passed away 2 years ago, and that's when I got them.
Sorry.
Thank you. And she never wore them, and we would this ongoing battle of, can I borrow your boots? Can I borrow your boots? Can I borrow your boots? And she never would let me. And part of that is because they're autographed by Muhammad Ali.
Wow.
She met him in an airport and didn't have anything to get his autograph on, and so that's why.
But she wasn't wearing them, right?
No,
so
she
had
never wore
them from
them.
the store, and she had them on her, and she decided to get them signed. Is that what happened?
Exactly. And
Interesting.
since the signature, she really didn't wear them.
Interesting. Well, that's really cool. Well, if we look inside, there's a stamp on the inside here, right? And there are a few numbers. One of them is a 5. So that might have been her shoe size, a 5 woman's boot.
No, she was like an 8.5 or a 9.
Maybe she didn't wear them because they didn't fit, right? But another number on the. Can you see that? Can you see that on the inside?
Right there. Maybe you can close in.
It's the purple ink on the inside.
And that's the size, right?
That's the size,
yeah.
5.
Okay.
And also there's a number 79. Right, and you said that they were required in the early 80s or so.
Yeah.
So the 79 is probably the manufacturing date.
Wow.
Oh.
Where's it?
They're
where's
almost
And the
as
79
old
is
as
also-
I am.
Yeah, okay. Oh, that's
Right.
very cool.
Yeah, on the inside, 79.
So,
And when you're looking at a pair of cowboy boots like this, there are a few things that you want to look at. One of which is the lemon pegs on the inside here, or rather on the bottom, and the evidence of a steel shank, which says that it's a good boot. It's got that support, you know.
where's the shank?
Shank's right here.
Oh.
It's indicative by this convex shape on the. I'm showing both of you guys.
Yeah,
on the sole, on the arch, and also this bug stitch is also known as a medallion. And what this is used for. Can you see?
Yeah, you want to show the camera.
Right. I also want to show you.
Yeah, but you
That's
can look
this
over.
part, right?
Right, exactly, the
Okay.
medallion. And what that is that basically there's the stitching here, right? And it's secured by a rope, cotton rope on the inside, and then canvas, and then another layer of leather. And what it's used for is basically it's so that your boots don't it's support on the top, right below the instep, so that your boots don't wrinkle as you walk.
Okay.
That's the function of them, you know. But anyways, these are a great pair of boots. Oh yeah, that's right. They're Ralph Lauren, of course. You know, and what's so cool is that you have these on top here, the pull tabs. It says RL on them, right? But each one of them are just different because it's handmade, of course. You know, and that's a neat little thing. You know.
Yeah.
So these boots probably bring around $300 to $350.
Okay.
And for your Muhammad Ali fan who really likes bright red boots, this woman size 5, you know, would probably bring around 400 to 500, 600 maybe, you know.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
cool. Yeah, that's great. That's good.
These are great.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for bringing them in.
Brandon, didn't you spend some time in Texas here?
Oh, that's right. So
I mean-
the reason why I know about these boots is because I spent a summer in Texas a couple years ago, and my friend and mentor, Navina Christie, helped me, basically taught me everything I know about cowboy boots.
Where
So,
where
in El
Texas were you?
Paso.
Okay.
And her all the way over there. It's called Rocket Buster Boots. She has a small little shop. It's a really neat little place. You know?
Some people know.
Oh, some people know in the audience?
Yeah.
She's
Rocket
amazing.
Buster.
She's amazing,
She's an
yeah.
old friend of, if I can say, she's an old friend of mine from New York, from when I was in my 30s.
go-go days.
The go-go days, back in the go-go days. Not the old man days, the go-go days. But then Brandon became, you're now good friends. I didn't mean to steal the mic away. I just wanted to say Navita is a wonderful gal, and go ahead. So-
Navina's amazing. She makes some great cowboy boots in El Paso, Rocket Buster boots. But that's the point is that these are an amazing pair of boots, and I want to say thanks for bringing them in. They're
Thank you.
great, yeah.
Thank you. One thing that's really special.
Thank you.
My mother grew up in Mississippi in the 1950s,
Yep.
and was an advocate for civil rights, and
Oh.
so that's why Muhammad Ali was so important to her,
Oh.
which was not super common in the 50s in
That's
Mississippi.
cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really, really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Wow,
So-
especially from the time, yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Brandon. Yeah, I got to tell you, that's A Star is Born. I'm gonna get the old man out and get my son up here, right? That's it. Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Brandon. Appreciate that. So we have a lot of things coming up here. A lot of things. Oh, wow. Okay, and we're miking up the next person I know, who's coming up next. So.
Okay.
I'm going to sing for you A Star is Born now, because I just said that. Oh, buddy. If I ever sang, I have the worst voice. But I'd scare you guys away. So we do have something coming up. It's porcelain. You can bring it up, Alex, if you want. Is it porcelain?
just take that
okay?
out, yeah.
Yes, it's porcelain. Look at that.
Pieces.
I grew up loving porcelain china. Thank you, Alex. And the first time I'm seeing this, I can get a sneak peek before the owner comes up. Okay, don't tell her it says made in China from the. No, I'm kidding. This is a lovely thing.
It's not well. Yeah, that's okay.
I know. Yeah, I'm bad on the joke. Sorry. But I always look at the hardware. I'm looking at this, and the owner. No, there she is. I can't keep any secrets anymore.
My family said, don't fall, taking that out to RoundTop. Don't trip.
Thank
How are
you.
you, Leigh? Melinda Abel.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to
Melinda.
meet you.
Thank you
Yes.
for bringing the pieces.
It's so
Melinda.
fun. This
Are you
has been
from here?
really enjoyable.
Oh,
I live
thank
in
you.
Houston.
In
Yes,
Houston?
Yeah.
You
I
drove
love
over?
the antique show. It's
Oh,
wonderful.
thank you. Thank
My
you.
daughter came yesterday. She was wishing she was here today with me.
Oh,
to be
that's
here
nice.
to see all this.
Do you always come to RoundTop?
I have for
Yeah,
years
for
and
years.
years. My mother's 90 years old, still
wow.
living, and she has been a collector always.
Oh,
So
is she
I come
watching
with
the
her.
show? Is she watching
I hope she is.
on
If
Ruby
not,
Lane?
I'll send some
You
pictures.
Yeah, that's great. Well,
Yeah,
so where do
well,
these?
This, of course, goes in the bowl
Yep,
right there.
yep. So what's the
And
story?
This, our family just inherited a big collection of rose medallion, rose familles. So
Okay.
we have loved it. Everybody loves it and has used it. And it came through my dad's side of the family, and they actually imported these pieces and
Really?
went to China and sold them and had a business. And they ate. We have a lot of plates
Right.
because they used the collection and ate on the plates, and a big service, a lot of pieces.
So are they
odd
all
pieces
rose
and-
medallion? Okay.
Yes.
So
a
were
rose
they?
famille, and now
Oh.
this is separate. I
Sure.
just bought
Oh,
this.
yeah,
'cause
but this is great. I mean,
we actually have 2 of these bowls,
Oh,
and I have another one of these also.
Wonderful. So your family was actually in the shipping business in the
Yes,
mid-19th century.
exactly.
It'd be from 1850,
Right.
late 40s
That's
to
exactly right.
1860.
And she was from Philadelphia. Mariah McCain was her name. And
That's an old name.
she's a descendant from Thomas McCain, who signed the Declaration of
that's-
Independence.
I was gonna say, I heard
kinda
that name.
neat.
That's an old-
And
that's-
these were her pieces. So
Wow.
my parents, who are both 90 and still living, they have had these pieces in their possession for 68 years.
That
almost
is so
68
cool.
years, so
That is
kinda
so
fun.
cool. Well,
And they seem to be in good shape.
They really are. I mean,
good
pardon me.
colors still, and just
I mean,
tell me a little bit about them. And I don't know whether, well, my daughter's probably watching, saying, "Don't you sell these?"
Well,
yeah,
I want to show the bottom, the
Uh-huh.
basin, the bottom of this this bowl. I'm looking at the back at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, then they became called Rose Medallion, as you know, Melinda.
Right.
I was saying, because of the roses
the rose
throughout.
color, right?
Right, but they also had this. This bowl is really
Mm-hmm.
nice because all these panels with figures, and let me hold it up actually.
Uh-huh.
You can put it, and panels with figures, and also has the let's see, more than 8 auspicious symbols, but which to the Chinese brought good luck, like long life, like happiness, love, all these auspicious emblems. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4,
I
5,
love
6,
that.
7, 8. There should be 8.
Right in here, these panels.
Yeah, these. Yeah,
Okay,
there are 8.
okay.
The 8
Neat.
auspicious symbols, and there's a Chinese name for that that
I love that.
can't remember, but that is So it definitely brought good luck. And
Good luck.
but to Americans who were importing this like crazy, like and your
Yes,
family
yes.
were merchants, they were making a fortune.
Bringing this in.
Bringing that in
right.
and
It's
working
come down to
hard.
us, so,
yeah,
yeah.
right, to Canton and to, and this,
Right.
would have been made in place like that. So on the back you can see the rose right here on the back, and here on the bottom, the typical Qing Dynasty export quality though, but not made for the emperor, but made for export. This rounded foot rim right here, it's rounded, where in the Ming Dynasty it was flat.
Oh, okay.
But it was rounded, kind of rounded like dome.
See that, yeah.
Yeah, and it's in great condition.
And the little piece kind of shows through there. I guess
Yes.
that's just from the
That's the
clay.
body showing through right there, not a damage. That's from the kiln, exactly.
Yes.
And they got fired red because of some of the iron oxide in the kiln at like 1400 degrees plus or so. And this picture is really an unusually shaped, a special shape.
I love it.
Yeah, it really is nice with this narrow neck and
The
and
detail and
yes, a nice step base, high base, and and you can feel the kiln grit. We call it right here. where
right,
it's rough.
right.
That's
The rough
from,
part, that means it's old and yeah.
from the kiln. Yep,
From the
absolutely. So this is really nice, and it was perfect for the Victorian, Melinda, because there was the evacuee, which means fear of empty space.
Okay.
So they didn't want to leave
an
an empty space,
Yeah.
and
there's all sorts of
covered it.
design.
Right, it's all covered in and wonderful designs with butterflies as well, and birds, and it's something where
It
you
seems
keep
to be there's a lot of it out here at RoundTop too. So the
A
young
lot of
people
Rose Medallion?
like it and mix it with the new things, and it
Yeah.
seems to still be popular and collectible.
exactly. You can put that in a minimal space and
Yes.
look really cool.
Right.
So that's really nice. And what about the basket?
Is this called a Tucker basket?
Yep.
We have another one.
Yep.
And there's some wear.
Right.
And I know BioBend has one.
Okay.
In Houston.
Yeah, have you compared the two?
I have. But my
Yeah.
mother just had told me they had one.
They
And the
had one.
family, the same family, had this basket also.
I think there's a good chance that this is probably Tucker porcelain, which of course was in New Jersey, and made in one of the great porcelain factories, and one of the earliest. I mean, there were
In New Jersey.
In New Jersey, yeah, and there were more others in the 18th century, a few. But I love the metal fixture in here. I'm trying to get it. We can get it in the light. Let me see if I can shine my light on it here. We can see that in the camera. We can see this the butterfly knot with hand cut threads,
Right.
which date from about 1830, 1815 to 1835, kind of in that range.
Okay.
This is the Empire. So it's a neoclassical piece with these paw feet from Greco-Roman, from architecture. They were doing digs in Italy and all that, and this reticulated base. I can use all these fancy words like reticulated. See that? You can see through there. Yeah,
Yes,
the open
cut
work.
open.
And it's really amazing.
Is it supposed to spin like that, or is that just because it's old?
It is. No, it's supposed to
It's
spin.
supposed to spin.
Absolutely supposed to
Okay.
spin. And absolutely, that probably kept it from getting damaged a couple times because it hit on something and it gave a little.
Sure.
Because think about all
And
these
it's worn,
these
yeah.
chips surviving all that time. Can you that job? I wouldn't want to sit on. I wouldn't want to sit on that.
Right.
But you and usually piercings. So anyway, and these are canvas leaves here on the base, and it's just you know I love that. That's
You know so much.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Yeah, you already knew. You already knew
Well,
the
a
main
little
thing.
bit, mainly just the tucker, but I didn't know all about the round green.
But I do want to say, pardon me, that I love Violin.
It's wonderful.
And
yes.
and I've sold.
It's
I'm
special.
honored to have sold a few pieces to them. At least one Chippendale piece. And it's a great museum.
It is.
It's just
wonderful.
I'm a big
Special.
supporter, and
Oh,
then
great.
you're probably
It's
your
wonderful
family.
to have you here.
Oh,
It's
thank
great.
you.
I
I'm
couldn't wait to
excited.
come.
So
I
excited.
do love the Antique Roadshow.
Oh, thank you.
Did you and your brother start the Antique Roadshow?
We didn't. I don't know
Okay.
where that rumor
Well,
got started, but
people
thank
say
you.
that.
No,
Just say yes. we
no,
did.
yeah, I definitely didn't. No,
Oh,
no, I would. I was. I'm just a volunteer appraiser on the show,
okay. It's
and
wonderful.
my brother is, and we started 20 years ago now. Over 20. I believe it's like a quarter century.
Oh, that's
It's like
That's great.
Since the first year when we didn't even know it would be popular.
Take off like that. It has. People
But
love
thank
it.
you, thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.
great, and I
Do you have
do.
any idea of what, should we just keep it in the family?
Keep it in
or-
the family. Oh, yeah, I know you
Mom's
will. I
probably
mean,
said
this tells such a great story about your
Yes.
family and the shipping business and bringing things from China. There was such a
Right.
huge
in
China
that
trade.
area. And they
Yeah.
lived in Philadelphia, so that was a port.
that's where most
they
of the-
entered.
Yeah, and then your
And then they
family,
later went to Colorado Springs and lived in the Broad Colorado
the
Springs.
family
The
did?
family did.
And-
Their
and-
home still is still there.
in oh, really?
And all these pieces were out of that home.
That is
in
so
the
cool.
Broadmoor, yes.
That's so that's if this
special.
picture and bowl could speak, you know.
Yes,
You know,
thank
and it would survive. Your family definitely takes care of things well, because
Well,
I don't think it was.
some pieces are chipped and cracked,
Well,
kind of, the plates and that sort of thing.
It's like I'm
But-
chipped and cracked a
but,
lot, and
yeah,
I'm a
we
lot
all-
younger. So,
We all are,
Right,
but I'm
right.
taking care of these. So
You sure are,
gotta get
no.
them home safely.
well, thank you. Well,
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Yeah. The value. I mean, it's value again. That
I know, it's hard to
Yeah. I mean,
present.
I know the value, but I just don't think it's. I know people
Sure.
at home probably want to hear.
I had some plants in there.
Oh, that's
Didn't
nice.
wash it out
No,
very well.
that's all right. Doesn't matter. That makes them more authentic.
willows or whatever
No,
I had in there.
it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah,
reading
I've seen
handle.
some other pictures too.
Yeah.
That maybe some are
Right.
decorated differently and that kind of thing.
So, what price range have you seen these priced at?
Porcelain, someone from BioBend that does porcelain, kind of, she mentioned 8,000 to 10,000 for the pieces, both of them.
For the two. I think
It's old and it's in good condition.
Yep, absolutely. Insurance
The
value.
color, insurance
Insurance
value.
value.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
because I mean,
She
that.
just kind of verbally, she said
Well,
that.
that's just it's such an unusual form, as I say. And
Yes, it
pardon me. And this the
Yeah.
Tucker, this piece,
Yeah.
I would love to compare it to the one at BioBend because and I'm going to do it right after this appraisal.
My mother's the one that told me that, so she
Well,
knows the one over there.
Pardon me.
Yeah,
It's simple, just like the Tucker is, and it's articulated. I've seen a piece with the same. I think that
Design.
one there actually has points on it, but and it is typical
Even though
Tucker.
it's worn, yeah.
Yeah, wear is good. I mean,
Wear
wear
is good.
shows the
Patina,
age.
right,
You don't want it.
right.
You don't want it new. So,
Right.
and they use water gilding and oil, both two types of
Okay.
gilding. See the contrast, just like they do in a frame, the shiny
see
and the
that.
dull, and that was an important part of the way the light played on it. You guys see out there how it's
see
flat
that.
and shiny?
And that it's shiny here.
That's just
Okay.
two types of gilding on the same piece. Frames do it a lot.
Yes.
Really great, and but this could be worth that. If this really is a Tucker piece, this could be in the thousands, because they Tucker rarely turns up, and it's usually in the form of a pitcher, not a compote.
Not a compote.
A fruit,
like
this
that,
we call the
right.
fruit basket
Yes.
during the period,
Yes.
during the 1830s. But thank you so
Great, thank
much. You're
you.
great.
We
Thank
know
you.
so much
thank
more.
You.
Thanks so
thank
much,
you
Leigh.
so much. Thank you, Melinda.
Great to know you.
And we're going to
Yeah.
carefully get these out.
Okay,
And
all good, as long as I don't trip.
okay, well, you
Nice
won't. No.
helpers.
We'll get
I
your
appreciate it.
mic over there.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm just going to keep going right out the door with this. She won't notice. Oh, no, I think she'll catch me. So I'll give you that. And next up, okay. Hey. The charity. Camp for All. Camp for All. Thanks so much. Thanks, Melinda. Sorry you had to carry that off yourself. Okay. And just you're welcome. Thank you. And thank you all of you who are here in person and all of you at Ruby Lane. Thank you for watching. And part of the proceeds go to for this event and the one tomorrow where we go treasure hunting here at RoundTop go towards Camp for All for special needs children. An amazing cause, and it's just an honor again to be here to do this event and have some of the proceeds go. A good part of the proceeds go towards that Camp for All. And as we sit here, I see a clock coming up. And it's ticking away. Hi there. How are you? I can take that right from you.
Sure, it's heavy.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank
Come on up. Let me catch that. Thank you. Don't you look lovely?
Well, thank
Look
you.
lovely. That's a great. Where did you find that outfit? It's so wonderful. Looks
Well,
hand embroidered.
Yes. One of my fun things to do is to have Johnny was going on here.
Oh, that's great. Is your mic? Let me see if your mic's going. Can you guys hear all right? I'll get it for you. Ooh, that's all right. I'll get that. You stay right there. Okay. Oh. Okay, here we go. Okay, testing. Testing 1, 2. Okay, that's working. How about this? We'll try to get that popped down there. Let's see. Just one sec. Just like the. Yeah, you gotta get. I think on here. Okay, try that. How's that?
Can you hear me?
My name's Leigh.
Hi, I'm Rana.
Rana, thank you for coming.
Nice to meet you.
Come on, a little closer.
Okay.
Thank you. This is what a little
This
piece.
goes part.
Rana, okay. Oh, up front, right? Oh, is that somebody's spear?
Yes, it's a sword. And
The sword. That's great.
It
Oh,
goes
yeah,
from
that's fine.
here
That's
and
fine. Yeah, that's just and that's just the little metal goes right there. Yeah, a sword.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you can see where it goes.
So, Rana, tell me about what you know about the piece, this clock.
Well, I was on a road trip with
Right.
my friends,
Right.
and we were in an estate sale in Marfa, Texas.
Right.
And we went to this small little house. It was very simple little house, and I walk in, and they had a little side piano, and that was sitting on top of it.
Okay.
And I immediately was drawn to it and loved it, so I purchased it she asked $200 for it, and I purchased it for $300.
Okay.
And I felt like that was even probably a little bit of an amount. Now, there's some issues with this.
Sure, okay.
I mean, I know the clock needs to be repaired.
Right.
There's a few little imperfections here and here, and I
Okay.
think a few of the feet are missing.
Okay, that's all right. Okay, I mean, again, nothing survives. It's perfect. Really,
But I have done
very
nothing
thoroughly.
to this. I mean, I took it straight from there, put it in a box, and
Quite a lot going on there, right? What do we have going on? We have some beasts down here and some.
it's the Saint Michael slaying the devil.
Yes, of course. Here's the devil. It's a very popular, in the 19th century, it was a very popular theme, and the 18th century too, right? And when do you think this clock dates from?
I would say in the late 1800s, maybe.
Yep. I think you're definitely right on. Right there. Yeah, good for you. Yeah, I have that. And with we have these. I use this to point at it with these enamel dial, right? With those the Roman numerals. And what do you think this is made of?
I would think bronze, but I'm not sure.
And that's a lot of. Some of them were bronze and made in France. As bronze, and the reason that probably one of the reasons that snapped off. And there's nothing wrong with this for the price you paid. Is that it's got, they used to call it pot metal, but it's more of a amalgam of several metals, more inexpensive metals. And that's why you paid how much? $300 for a late 19th century clock. With the Renaissance revival, with all these the plinth and all the elements of kind of the Renaissance with this Greco-Roman figure of depiction of Saint Michael, the winged Saint Michael, and so it's very cool. But it is It is bell metal. I guess they also call it pot metal. And there's another word that it's escaping me, but anyway, it's not bronze. And the way you can tell, if I can suggest, is you look at the bottom where the piece is right down here. You see there is a little green, which will make you think it's bronze, but that's actually, it's right here and here, and especially where this piece broke off.
Right.
I can see it's a metal that was actually quite brittle. But they used it when they could paint it like this. It looked like a blackened bronze and expensive. You know what I mean? And it has that look. But it's real. It's authentic. It's probably worth about what you paid, $300 or so. 300, maybe more. 400. I wish I could tell you it was 5,000, but it's not.
Okay.
But it's very nice. It's very nice.
Okay.
It's very nice. And the clock, I'm looking inside. It looks like you might even get it working, but it's hard to know. I'm not a clock specialist. Look in the back. It's hard to. Yeah, it looks all original in there, though. I'll tell you that. And I can see the. Okay. So at least we know where it was made. It was made in Paris. And good thing I brought this bright light, and it's put these glasses on. These are handy glasses, and it's H. Lewins, Paris, Luhns. So yeah, so again, this would have been probably sold to tourists or something, who would want a nice object to say I bought it in Paris, and it wasn't a fortune.
Okay.
But it does have some brass, and that's on the back, and the glass here. See that's brass right there. Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for bringing it in, and I love your jewelry also. That's
Well, thank
gorgeous.
you.
Really.
It's
May I
not
put a
big.
light on that? Look at that. It's gorgeous.
You can go ahead and
Oh
show my
God.
husband. He'd be real happy about this.
Oh yeah. It's really nice. It is nice. Look at that. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Lovely. Lovely.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I can carry that. Let me hand it to.
I'll step down and take it.
Oh, okay. You sure?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
sure.
Thank you so much.
Ron.
You have a great day.
You have a great day. Thank you. Thank you so much. And we have the next object coming up soon. Actually, you can hand me it. Thank you so much. I'll see you in a second. Here's the next thing. And you guys have all seen bentwood chairs, and this is a good example of a bentwood chair. And in Paris, a guy named Thonet, T-H-O-N-E-T, came up with a way to bend the wood so that it's a continuous S-curve. He could do all kinds of things. He made rocking chairs, everything out of bentwood. So, and there's the owner.
You were talking about it, and I didn't
I
even get to
know,
hear it.
I know. I wanted to give him some info.
I'm Linda.
Linda, nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you. So
Thank
I'm a
you.
huge fan
Thank
of
you.
you and your brother.
Thank you.
And I
Come on up.
loved your the show that y'all did.
Oh,
that-
Buried Treasure?
Yes, that was
Thank
one
you.
of my favorites.
Thank you so
so,
much. That
you know.
Fox Network. Thank you so much. That was fun. Fun because we were going into people's homes and changing their lives. Trying to anyway.
I know, you did.
Thank you so much. Can you guys still hear me? Okay. Thank you. So, what do you?
So I live in RoundTop, which is I'm very fortunate. But for a brief period, my family lived in Rhode Island. We
Okay.
lived in Providence.
Yeah.
And my mom was interested in antiques, but very, she went to antique shops.
Yes.
But they were very, humble or
Right.
whatever. And maybe she paid $5 for this.
Okay.
I think, but
Right.
and it probably was painted green,
Yep.
and she cleaned it up or whatever, and it has been, the seating has been redone. But
Okay.
anyway,
That's nice. Yeah.
so she bought it probably in the 65, 66, something like that.
Okay. And she paid
So-
30. You said 30.
No,
How much?
$5.
Just $5. She didn't feel guilty. Paying
No,
only $5.
well, no, I mean, it was,
I'm kidding. No, that's a good price. Did she clean the paint off? Do you know? Or
I think she started, and she may have finally given in and got a professional involved.
Right. No, they did a good job.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty good job. So it probably started out, I'm guessing, stained. Because this is made like a Windsor chair of different kinds of wood, and the stain or the wash would have combined them all. That's what I think. Now let me see. Maybe I'm wrong. This is actually it's beechwood.
Okay.
And that looks like beech. Yeah. Yeah, and they would have been able to bend this wood right here.
Okay.
Yeah, look at that beautiful S curve.
Yeah, it's
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
I mean, and rather inexpensively in the late 19th century, kind of around 1900, 1880 to 1900, a little kind of Chippendale style crest. So at this point there, actually it has a great shape from the back. If you guys look from the back, you can see that it has this very kind of a waist, and it goes back out. You all can see it in the audience. So it's really very cool. You know, I mean, and the great thing is that it's your mom's, and is she still with us, your mom?
No, unfortunately she's not, but she started my sister and I's love for antiques.
Oh, that is so great.
We would be in the car, and we'd go with her in these musty antique stores, and anyway.
Go, oh, Mom, what are we doing here?
Right.
When did you get excited about going to
you know, after, you know, as an adult, probably, as a young adult.
Oh, that's so cool that you...
And I've been an adult for a while.
You have? Oh, a couple years, okay, right? No, but, so I'm sure you have a lot of things home, but you said, I'll bring a chair, right?
And because it was from New England, I thought that you might be able to relate to it.
Yeah, no, that's very sweet. That's very kind of you. I was just up in Rhode Island, and I do think it was probably made somewhere up there, although they made chairs like this inexpensively in France, but they're usually even more ornate, like people like Thonay made these bentwood chairs. Right. Because this is truly a bentwood chair, that brace. Okay. And cane seat, which again, you said it was replaced, but
that's redone.
In my town there was a place that they charged 10 cents a hole to redo the cane seat, and my mom used to have them recaned by these blind people. And it was a way for them to make money.
That's exactly where I had it done. I had it done in Houston for the blind.
For the blind.
And they redid it, yes.
That is so cool. I remember that as being a kid, my mom going up in upstate New York. A different.
That's great.
Because
that's exactly where I had it done.
That is so cool. If your mom's watching, you did a good job. Watching. You know, did a good job. You know, and thank you. I mean, value-wise, it's going to be definitely more than $5.
Okay, good.
You know, definitely. Yeah, like $50 to $80.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
well, that means a lot to me.
Yeah.
So,
thanks.
Okay.
I keep shaking your hand, but thank you.
That's okay. Thank you so
Thanks
much.
a lot. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Oh, that was fun. I always like to see a piece of furniture. So I'll tell you. So we have an interesting thing coming up. I say thing, a work of art, and it's actually I saw some images of it, and it looked like it was definitely had some age, but I don't want to say any more until the owner comes up, who's been helping here, and actually, may I say where you work, Alex?
Please.
Yeah.
All right.
He's actually a major guy at Ruby Lane, you know. So.
Hi everyone.
How are you? He's like this
all the way from New York.
Yeah, right? How you doing, Alex?
I'm well, Leigh.
You've been working.
Texas weather has been treating me oh so well.
You've been working hard here. So what's the story?
Okay, so I think I brought you something interesting. It's going to be either incredibly disappointing, or I'm going to have to travel home with a iron suitcase chained to my wrist. So it's going to be one of the two.
Yeah.
So what happened here is my grandmother was a collector of art. She traveled the world, just buying things wherever she could, whenever she could. This came out of her estate. Now, the interesting thing here is that this is where it left off. She was great friends with Sidney Friedberg. Okay. He was the main authority on early Renaissance art and a professor at Harvard University. And he was convinced himself that this was a Florentine school drawing.
Right.
Possibly by, I'm going to butcher this because my early Renaissance and Florentine school artists, we barely touched that at school. Right. All right. So it's Domenico Ghirlandaio, something to that effect. Again, I'm going to butcher that one.
Ghirlandaio, I would butcher it also, but I know not the guy who's Michelangelo's teacher.
He was Michelangelo's teacher.
Yeah. How long have you?
So my grandmother had this piece. She's known about that background story after, again, a dinner party with Sidney Friedberg. Sorry.
Friedberg, right. That's a huge name.
Sadly, Sidney passed away before any sort of formal investigation could be commenced. And then right after he passed away, my grandmother suffered some mental issues that, her estate was left in other hands.
Okay.
Yeah. So what happened here is, it shot up about a year ago.
Right.
My father had it. He's like, oh my God, this thing.
Right.
And now that he's moving, he's like, it came out of the attic again. He's like, oh my God, I completely forgot about this thing.
Wow.
Bring it to Leigh.
Wow, thank you. Wow, I'm glad you brought it to me.
I couldn't think of a better person.
Thanks. That is very sweet. And let me ask you, who your grandmother's name is?
Rose Gardner.
Rose Gardner.
Yeah.
Because I know that I know your last name's Gardner. And
Yeah.
How are you related to the Isabel Stewart Gardner of the?
So a little
museum?
family history, I guess, if we're going to dive into that one. My great aunt is Isabel Stewart Gardner of the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston. If for some of those that don't know, world's largest art heist.
Yep,
that's what it's known for.
They never found the Rembrandts that were stolen from it, right? Isn't that right?
I mean, exactly. So she traveled in these circles in Boston, and I don't know what we have here, Leigh.
Well, I'll tell you, you have something really good. And I wish I had, you gave me some warning, I saw a picture of it, but it was right before I was headed out here, as you know. But and Sidney Friedberg is like, I remember in college watching films that he did about Renaissance art, Italian artists specifically.
Yes.
But honestly, I'd love to see the back of this, and I don't know if we have time or we could do that here.
If you feel comfortable opening it up, I can't imagine better hands.
Oh,
right?
Thank you. I know that's very kind of you to say, but now watch me butcher this on live stream. But so.
Maybe if you want to point it to the camera just to give them a little retrospective.
While you were talking, I was pointing.
Okay.
You've gotten a good look at it, right?
I'm sorry, my anxiety is just kind of we're going to take it out of the frame. I don't think this thing has seen the light of day for a few decades.
Well, they did a good job framing it, though. So I'm going to lay it. I think just because it's nice and safe, and let's see. Do you mind helping me maybe pull some of these
I got
up?
those nimble little fingers.
Yeah, you got good hands. Well, you do have fingernails. I can't get this up. So we're taking this, what looks like a 16th century drawing sketch.
Oh, actually, by your feet, Leigh, the part of the provenance.
Oh, is that
there?
Is this there?
It actually has Sidney Freeman's name on it.
Oh, yeah. This
was part of the original backing of the piece.
Yeah, this is really.
And before he could finalize any appraisal or authenticity of it.
So this is, it says brought in New York by S. Friedberg. Again, that's iconic, just the fact that, brought in New York. What is that? Did she mean to say bought in New York? Or no?
Oh, no, that's brought by S. Friedberg. So, honestly, I don't know what the context is there, because this is like before my time. I think I wasn't even born yet.
Yeah, you're a young guy. You're what, 32? 31, 30?
You never ask a man's age, right, Leigh?
I don't know. Just don't ask my age. Okay, But no, this is pretty amazing, though. It's definitely on the right paper. And I am not a Renaissance expert. But I'll tell you one thing.
Okay.
One thing that's interesting to me is that is this ball that he has in his hand with the. He's actually. It's hard for you to see out in the audience there, but those of you at home, you can see that he's holding this sphere with a rod at the top of it, and And have you looked at the writing down here? Did you see that?
There's
stuff?
an imprint. There's a couple things on this thing that I just, for the life of me, won't be able to figure out.
Okay, if you don't mind, do you mind if I
there's some
use this?
stamps on the back. There's some writing that's been kind of worn out, and
I'm going to try to. My light's not. I thought my light would work, but my light's not working. Let me see.
it never does when you need it
Yeah,
to, right, Leigh?
right, exactly. I'll tell you what I do have though is I think my light, like the
Great time cue Energizer Bunny.
Yeah, right. Let's see. Okay, yeah, it does have initials there. Like what is that? F? Is it? You want to look at it? Have you looked at?
All right, so it's so faded. It looks like FCS.
FCS.
F
yes.
dot.
FCS.
C
right.
dot.
Does it have something to do with lightning? I'm just thinking that this ball with the rod on it has to do with something to do with lightning or something, because there's a lightning ball.
There's something FCS. There's a Latin terminology. I think FCS is the acronym for it, and it has to do with lightning.
It does, really?
Yeah, something. No. You are triggering something there.
Wow.
But I wouldn't be able to expand on that any further.
I mean, so. The only thing I wonder about, because the thing looks like an amazing sketch down here and the way it's done, but it looks like perhaps a student worked on this, the hair, this looks amazing. And then you get up here and this hair is kind of like, not as well done, but this is beautifully done. So maybe this, you have an original thing. Look, I'm just talking from just the seat of my pants, but I think it's definitely a real thing. I mean, and the fact that it came from your family means that it could have been Isabel Stewart Gardner's, right? And would it have possibly come from her?
I would be hesitant to make any kind of. I don't want to make any statements, but I mean, nothing's out of the realm of possibility.
Okay, she was your great
great aunt.
But that's like, but who else would have something that by Michelangelo's teacher?
Right.
Well, Michelangelo was the apprentice, other than Isabel Stewart Gardner. Some people might, but that's pretty amazing. I happen to love that museum, the Isabel Stewart
It's a fantastic museum. It's where my parents fell in love.
Really?
Yeah.
At
that museum. Yeah.
That was your mom met your dad?
My mom met my dad. She was a French woman without a visa, and my dad fell in love with her after about 2 weeks.
That is so great.
Asked her to marry, asked her to marry him, just for the visa, and said, if it doesn't work out, don't worry, you get to stay. But they've been together ever since.
Wow, that's so cool. Do you think it had to do anything with the fact that she said, "What do you do?" And he said, "Well, my aunt built this place."
I don't know. I think a couple family members were suspecting that, but no. I don't think true love.
No.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I know.
That's a great story. Alex, I got to tell you, I think this is one that we have to spend time in, and there are a million ways, and I know Ian Kennedy is one of the great experts. He's now at a major museum, but I worked with him at Christie's. And I think he would know exactly who. I think he's at the Getty now, or one of those great places. But he would know. One thing I know is what I don't know, and I'm not an expert in this area, but I do know that the paper looks right. Everything about the hands look right. And regardless of the fact that one of the great experts, it looks like it was brought.
Sidney Friedberg.
Yes, Friedberg. No, I'm saying that whether it was bought or brought to him or by him, Sidney Friedberg's one of the greats. He said that name, and I said, he's famous, and and you might have a real treasure here. It could be, of course, it could range from.
I certainly hope so.
$20,000 to hundreds of thousands of dollars.
What does one of his drawings kind of go for?
His drawings are brought, in the hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands?
For the good drawings, He did a drawing that was, you guys know Rosie the Riveter? Rosie the Riveter. It's a famous Norman Rockwell. Believe it or not, Rosie, and it was used for war bonds, remember, during the war and in the 40s, and to raise money. Her posture was based on a drawing by this guy, by him. You know,
Wow.
and I mean the whole pose. Norman Rockwell used his posture. One of his disciples, anyway, it was the same. Rosie the River has a riveting gun, and you know the lunchbox. The foot is on a copy of Mein Kampf. You know, all beat up. It's like, but it's one of the great Rockwells. It's and that is based on this guy's work.
Based off this guy's work. Okay.
But Alex, thank you. I mean, you might have a real gem. I mean, this talk about and turning up a RoundTop. It's. I mean, I know that you know. You do an amazing job for Ruby Lane, and it's not like you walked off the street, but you did say, Leigh, I want to bring this drawing. I'm coming out to work.
I just don't know enough about it.
You might have to quit your job at Ruby Lane. You'll make so many millions that. Sorry, Ruby Lane, you're going to lose Alex.
No, we're a family over there, so could never quit.
Just kidding. Don't lose him. No, seriously. Yeah, thank you.
I just like the idea of seeing or thinking about somebody telling Michelangelo what to do.
Yeah.
And in the old Florentine way of, maybe a stick or something, if a stroke of ink is out of place.
That's so cool. I love the hand and how beautifully it's drawn. It's drawn by a master, you guys.
There's also some writing on the back. I don't know if you've seen this.
Wow.
But it's incredibly faded.
Okay.
So.
Wow.
If
we're doing this really carefully, if you just let it flap.
If we just let it flap,
you don't even have to touch
it has some writing on the back.
Wow.
But it might be difficult to see. You might need to
this
get your Inspector Gadget tools,
Yeah, exactly. It looks like there's a watermark.
It has stamps all over the back.
Yeah, I can see that. And so it has a crown here. There's a crown actually literally in ink. Which, I mean, that might be an imperial seal. I mean, that's a definite crown. It's like not a rubber stamp, but it's a seal. And then, oh my God, there's writing all on here, right? And
towards the middle, you'll see some writing, incredibly faded.
So that has to be.
But I'm sure some kind of,
infrared light.
Yeah, infrared light. Okay.
So infrared that would stand out like it's like almost like invisible ink now, but I can see all this writing. This might be your answer. It might actually say his name, and I'm not going to try to pronounce it again. I'm horrible at it. But it's again. Amazing stuff, Alex. Thanks.
Is this something that would be written in Latin or early Italian?
Either one, either way. I can't even read one word, and I was horrible at Latin. I took 1 year and.
I only took it for the SATs, and it failed me.
Well, anyway, thank you, man.
Okay.
Thank you, Alex Gardner. Thanks. Man, wow. Thanks for all the work you're doing here at RoundTop. The guy's been working his tail off, pulling together this event, and.
Big Ruby Lane, and Texans just make it great.
Thanks, man. I agree with you there. I love Texas. Texas, really. I want to move here. I live in the middle of New York. Well, you're in Connecticut, so.
No, New York now.
Oh, that's right.
New York now.
That's right. You're in New York, but you're not in the city.
Not in the city.
I'm in Manhattan, so I'm going to stay here.
I think you and I, let's just you want to get a condo together, just be two divorcees?
Yeah, get Brandon out. Yeah, get Brandon out here, and you'll stay with us. So thank you very much, Alex. Are we through all the pieces?
I think that wraps up everything.
Okay, well, I want to thank you all for coming here. Thank you all. Thank you all on Ruby Lane for sticking with us, and we'll see you tomorrow. We have a great walkthrough.
Yes, we do.
And it's going to be
exciting
a blast
stuff.
Just going through the show. And we're going to have a whole crew with us, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to find treasures here at RoundTop. And thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Good
Thanks,
job.
Leigh.
Nice job, man. Nice
Great
piece.
job.
That's amazing.
Yeah. You know what, man?
It's like, wow.
I'm looking forward to seeing what comes of it.
No, it's like, it's. Or not?
Okay, thank you.
Back on. Okay, so we have one more piece, and we're going to take a look at. and come on right up. Let me get it up. We're going to have it in front of you in a moment. If you want to stick around for one more piece on Ruby Lane, maybe I can look at the piece.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Let me look at that. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Okay. So we're going to, how are you?
Good, how are you?
My name's Leigh.
I'm Cassandra.
Cassandra, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And so what's the story on this? Let me hold it up so the cameras can see it.
Yeah, so this is Mark Chagall Lithograph that my mother acquired in an estate
Sorry
sale.
about that. Yep, yeah, a little louder again, thanks.
She won this at an estate sale in El Paso, Texas.
Okay.
It was at auction. I think she said she won it for about $90.
90, wow. The thing is, and it says 52 out of 500. Okay, I mean, so what we have, as you know, as most of you know at home, Mark Chagall is a very famous artist, and from the early 20th century, and you've probably done some homework on him, right?
Yes, she actually gifted this to me after I got a role at an art gallery. So she thought I would like it. She studied Russian.
Right.
So she also was really interested in Russian art.
Okay, in Russians, that's kind of like some of the constructivist stuff from Russia, right?
Yes, yeah.
This reminds me, so I can see how, this Chagall would appeal to her. And do you know what she paid for it?
$90, yeah.
$90. Wow, $90. God. Okay, so I tell you, it is wonderful. The thing is, when you have a lithograph, you always want the first thing you want to look at. Look at the whole thing, but then you go down here and it says 52 out of 500, right?
Yes.
And that's in pencil, and you come over to the Mark Chagall, and this is in darker print, right?
Absolutely,
so yeah, and so I haven't, of course, had a chance to look up this edition, but it might not be the first edition from Mark Chagall. It might not be the one where Mark Chagall.
After, yeah.
Yeah, it might be after him because it does have the pencil numbered here, and usually if it's numbered in pencil here, it's usually in the same thing.
Well.
Yeah,
Okay.
or ink. So the fact that they're different is like one quick warning light goes off. Not a bad thing, but just not the first edition.
Okay,
yeah.
that makes sense.
And then if I had my loop working, I could look at this, see if there are pixels in it all in here. Sorry, from my back of my head here. And I want to look outside of the glass, but I have a feeling that's part of the print, that signature.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense, yeah,
That makes
absolutely.
sense? I mean, it's $90, you said. So what you have is a lovely, edition that somebody probably published, did in the 20th century, probably within 60 years ago, or 50 maybe later, in the 70s or 80s. That's my guess. Okay?
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
she said she got it, she won it at auction in 2011.
Yeah.
And she just handed this down to me in December.
Oh, nice.
So,
okay.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it would make sense that it's after Chagall.
After Chagall. Well, then value-wise, it's a gift from your mom, you'll never sell it.
And I enjoy it at my home no matter what,
So I don't want to put a number on it, and if it was a real Chagall, if it was like first edition, I would tell you it's worth this much. But because I want you to look at it and not think of a number. I want you to think of your mom.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate
you're welcome.
that.
Sure. So it's really nice. Thank
you.
That's a great, and thanks so much for bringing it in.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Just shaking hands behind the scenes. Okay.
Thank you so much.
You look lovely. Thank you
so much. Have a great one.
Thanks for coming. So that wraps it up, everybody. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for the great sleeper hunt here at RoundTop. Bye-bye. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
He'd like a picture. Can we
Oh,
do
sure,
that?
of course.